All right, we are here. We're getting started. I'm Pixie, your variety streamer. Welcome to the playground. Tonight is Vampire the Masquerade, Philly by Night. And we're here with my players. We've got Knox as our storyteller. Idaho is played by Skot. Victor played by Zack. And I play Alice.
Hello.
We're currently waiting for Martha, who plays Michael Starwell. Thought we'd get started and just check in with you guys, how your weekend was. Hit us up in the chat because we love talking to you guys. I will let you know that alert sounds have been disabled, but there will be, pop-up alerts on screen for any actions that happen. So don't think we're ignoring you guys. Just wish I could ignore my wig. Ooh.
Don't worry.
It doesn't like headphones. That's the problem. It looks great without headphones.
Don't worry. I'm totally ignoring all of it.
That's gonna go for a great night.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Just did that. What was that discipline that I was just telling you guys?
Rotting brains?
Assholery? Was that it?
The John Cena effect. You don't see me.
Since it actually works.
What was it, Booker T? I know a little bit of wrestling, unfortunately.
Just soap operas for dudes.
She had 3 brothers growing up, so she got indoctrinated.
And then 2 exes that were into it, so yeah. Hi, Ventru. Thanks for joining us tonight.
All right. Let's get started since after the last week and then the weekend, I'm sure, is definitely some ground to cover. So, welcome to Vampire the Masquerade 5th Edition Chronicle, Philly by Night. We're on session 34.
Ooh.
Nice.
Climbing. All right. So, let us do a brief recap.
Yeah.
Last week, the coterie opened their doors, and maybe even their hearts a little bit, to a thin blood drug dealer who came into the club named Slade, who, through his charm and wit and several pounds of gold jewelry, was able to get himself settled in. The night ended on a bit more of a somber note, however, as the coterie headed to Ten Toes Records and found all of the people there exsanguinated, the 2 kindred, Silas and Jonas, impaled and in torpor, and a thin blood hanging from the roof by a chain.
It was yucky.
Taking them all back to the club and putting them in the basement.
With the others?
Getting a little collection going.
Yeah, we're going to start a museum.
The trio of Idaho, Vic, and Alice decided to investigate a more personal angle, looking into the foster parents of Heather's kids, Tracy and the boy who has never been named. After sneaking around their house and Idaho's deft evasion of a local Karen, the trio managed to smooth talk their way into the house to find conspicuous things going on, but nothing overt. Enough things that left them uneasy. That evening ended with a meeting with the Scourge, who informed the group that she was the one who is responsible for the wreckers and responsible for gifting it back in a clean fashion. In return, she wanted the 4 Thin Bloods that the coterie is harboring. And with that, that is where we start our chronicle tonight. So, with everyone here and the ever delectable Michael Starwell showing up right on time.
Okay, hold on a second. I'm having some really tough technical difficulties because apparently my camera stand decided to go absolute apeshit.
Oh.
Yeah, I see this because it's looking like Blair Witch Project.
Yeah.
It's like you're in an earthquake. Go to the
Yeah.
desk. Get under the desk. Get in the doorway.
By the way, there was an earthquake in Crete today.
Oof.
5.8 magnitude.
God,
It's like every day you're hearing about one now.
Well, yeah, because when we melt the polar caps, like, shit doesn't counteract the heat that wants to come up. Fuck, come on. Why aren't you working for me?
You have to call tech support, then it'll start working while you're on hold.
Yeah.
well, first
Right?
you have to give it some blood and blood bond it to get it to work for you.
Exactly, exactly.
You're not using any of your kindred abilities. You're not using your teeth.
Well,
you're not
in
using your
defense,
blood. No
in defense, Alice has all the tech. So,
So,
Is it
This-
possible?
what were you gonna say?
Is it possible to blood bond a vampire that's in torpor as you are rejuvenating them?
Oh, good question.
Theoretically, we would say yes. But keep in mind that such a blood bond would be done under, could best be described as only being done under duress.
Right, like there's no way of consenting.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
they're gonna know that they have been enslaved. There's no nicer way to say it. While they've been down, and when they wake up, they're gonna test that bond at every possible angle.
Mm.
It's also likely not going to endear you at all to
Whoever it
fellow-
is.
yeah,
To the-
well, to them, but also to the rest of kindred society,
Mm.
because kindred tend to fear being blood bonded. I mean,
It's
For-
being tied.
yeah, it's being
It's like being
put,
captured.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's being put subjugated, like
Well-
your mind, your will.
Okay. Well, I mean, I am really concerned about not only impressing the guys from Ten Toes, but also the Camarillas, so I'll just show that idea.
Trying to get a job.
Yeah, Mr. Sarcasm. That's my job.
So, with that
Position's
said,
been filled.
Damn it.
that's what he said. So let's do some housekeeping, and let's roll. I think a couple of you are on the edge of something dangerous.
Yeah. We didn't get to hunt last time. You didn't let us.
Shit.
I think Alice is right.
You said because
And I
Michael's not
hunted.
here, we won't let you guys hunt. I remember you said that. You're so mean.
Oh, was this when you're like with your one off?
Hmm.
Oh, it was crazy. We got hunger increases and then we didn't get a chance to hunt, but at the end of the night.
Yeah, we had to rush back home.
It was a long night.
The longest night in vampire history. No.
Oh, what a night.
You haven't rolled. I don't know.
Somewhere in the gutters of Philly.
Yeah, there you go. Like, I don't know the lyrics anyways. It just,
Oh, there's
do
a
it.
very special snack for me.
oh, awesome.
What a body, what a night.
You better
So
be
what are
careful
we-
getting me copyright.
Oh,
I'm-
yeah.
I'm mostly joking. Who knows these
It's a
days?
cover song. Cover songs don't count.
It's not
We
even.
made up
It's
our-
not even cover. It's a satire. Like
We made up our own lyrics, and it's probably even in a different key. I mean, come on.
I'm
It's definitely in a
like I
different time
care.
code.
It's Twitch that gives a crap.
So what are we sitting at now? What's everybody? Can we get a review on our current levels of hunger?
I mean,
All
like I
right.
gained 3, so
Okay.
I'm screwed.
So Mr. Starwell is at a. He is sitting at a 2.
Ooh, okay.
Vic is sitting, I believe, at a 3. Let me go look real quick. Vic is at a 3.
Yeah.
Alice is at
3.
a 3. And Idaho is at a 2.
Oh, am I?
2.
Because remember the one time you
Yeah.
would have gotten your hunger up to a 3.
But we dialed that back.
And
Oh,
then
that's
you,
right. I
because of
keep
the
forgetting.
roll.
I was robbed of a hunger gain.
Yep. You sad boy.
You ruined my whole night.
But you may have gained a new place to park your car.
That's true.
Really?
Well, I can
So-
only do it once a week. But okay, anyway.
Hey, between the apartments and then this new place, I mean, you got the weekend nailed down.
Yeah.
Good going. Awesome. Okay.
So, all right, let's go down the line. Idaho, how are you starting the night?
Waking up at 10 toes and driving back to the apartment.
Okay, so actually, and that was something that I wanted to start asking. Do we want to start dictating? Like, there are going to be times now when I'm going to say X amount of time has passed. But there's going to be times when I'm going to say, are we starting the next night, or do you guys want some time to have passed? So this would be one of those times. Do you guys want to start the next evening?
The
I
only
don't see why
thing,
not.
I mean, it really doesn't matter much one way or the other, in my opinion. Nothing critical is on the calendar, so I
Okay.
I'm
always,
just working
and-
stubby in the background.
yeah, unless usually my default mode of thinking, unless you tell us different, is I always just act like it's the very next night, but obviously
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be.
Okay,
That's
so
usually my default.
Let's
then-
roll with that.
So then tonight, so then we will just assume from here on out that unless I say otherwise, it is just the next night. So the next night, Idaho, what are you doing?
I'm going to get up from 10 toes and drive back to the apartment.
Okay, when you get to the apartment, what are you? So here, let me ask you a question about your time at the Wreckers. So when you go and you go park the vehicle in there, when you wake up this evening, do you explore around? Do you check out? Do you verify what was told to you, or do you just basically take it at face value?
Yeah, no, I think that's a good point. I think it might delay my arrival to New Rain, but or to the Beacon, but I'm going to take just a quick look around.
So the yard of the wrecker is in no better shape. The driveway completely spotless. So spotless, in fact, that you weren't even picking up anything with your nose. As you head up to the office, the door is unlocked, which safety issues, but whatever. But the interior is spotless and clean. It smells nice. All of the surfaces have been completely cleaned. There's some obvious signs that things were removed. Maybe paper, maybe wall posters, maybe things like that. There's some blank spots. There's new spots of paint. But the place is spotless. Navigating in from there, when you get into the garage, it's the same thing. The only major differences in the garage is that where the rest of it seems like it's been cleaned, here it just looks like they basically just removed everything and then washed it out. There's no blood. You can't smell any blood. It's been cleaned out that way. But the engine's gone. Some of the mechanical stuff has been torn out and has not been replaced. It just looks like it's missing.
Mhm.
Security cameras, all of the security cameras are very obviously missing from their perches and all of the where previously when you looked into the garage, and there'd been the CCTV screens in there, those are completely gone too. But otherwise, this place looks basically like if you didn't know that there had been some sort of massacre here, you wouldn't know there'd been some sort of massacre here.
Right. Are there other cars there that they were maybe working on or got left there, or is it just empty now?
In the garage, no, it's empty. No, it's completely empty.
Nothing in the yard, so it's just pretty much wide open now.
No, well, no, all of the automotive corpses or automobile corpses that were in the yard, none of that's been moved.
Oh,
Just anything.
so we got a bunch of car corpses.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, well, after I do that quick little just walk around, I'm going to head to the apartment.
Okay, so you're gonna head to the apartment after doing that. Vic, you wake up. What are you doing?
Working on Stubby.
So let's clarify a little bit. When you say working on Stubby, what exactly are you intending for this to be?
The replacement for the sawed-off shotgun I lost when we got locked up.
So basically, what you're trying to basically recreate is a stockless, shortcut, single barrel shotgun. That's basically a single loader, right? Okay.
Right.
Okay. Al, you wake up. What are you doing?
What's Ruby? Is she still with me, or is she already gone to the club?
Ruby and Lane have both already headed to the club. It's worth mentioning now that the sun is setting noticeably earlier in Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
Previously, a lot of nights you were having to get out, and it wasn't until late. Now the sun is setting quite a bit earlier.
Yeah.
It gets dark much earlier. So again, as I mentioned that before, gives you guys a lot more time to operate during the night, but it also means, in many cases, that when you wake up,
people are still out doing stuff.
People are still out and doing stuff, and the people need to get to the bar. So you are again in the apartment.
Yeah, and I'm hungry.
Me too.
I'm gonna go see if Vic wants to go hunt, like find some little encampment or something.
Okay. So the question then becomes, Vic, is this something that you would acquiesce to? Is this one of those things where you would be like, yeah, I could eat?
Yeah. I'm hungry enough. Yeah, I'm at 3, so.
All right. Well then, it's time to make a roll. I will let you two decide who is going to be making the roll. You can add 1 dice, so it'll be a roll of 7, but do include your hunger.
We're both at 3, so it really doesn't. I don't think it matters too much who does it.
Oh, it does matter, because if Pix rolls, it'll be a critical hit.
Hey, Jesus Christ! Saturday.
Anybody that missed Saturday, anybody that missed Saturday, go. It's up on YouTube now, and I swear to God, like I'm rolling good, awesome, it's great, and then all of a sudden the table goes cold, and I'm just eating everything up.
It was awesome. It was either really good or really bad.
Oh.
What did you do?
That was a practice roll. I think Pix was actually going to roll. How did you do that?
Oh.
How did that happen?
What the hell?
I guess I could spend a willpower.
How did that happen?
If you would like to spend a willpower, I will allow you to re-roll that.
Or do I get a shot?
Okay, that's better.
Wow.
That would have been an exciting way to start the evening.
Just tearing through a homeless encampment. Just
So, you guys start stalking through your normal territory looking for things. And you don't come across a homeless encampment. What you do find is a pair of, they're a couple, their car's broken down, kind of in off alley streets on the side. The car itself is smoking. There is white billowing smoke coming out from under the hood. He is trying to figure out what is going on under the hood. She is standing next to him, looking around like this is kind of not a fantastic place to have a breakdown. Who knows what lurks out in these shadows? And funny enough,
Right on
here
cue.
the pair of you come along to prove her right. So the question that I will offer you is, would you guys do this in a more predatory fashion, i.e. swoop in and take advantage of the fact that these two are basically out of sight, which makes them easy prey for a pair of hungry kindred, or would you attempt to kind of finesse this a little bit more?
I mean, I'm usually on the side of finesse. But I'm trying to figure out what the best way to approach would be. Like maybe Vic to be like, "Oh, do you need help? Maybe I can help you with your car or whatever." And then I chat up the lady and then whatever. Does that sound somewhat like a plan, Vic? You got anything you want to throw in on that?
Yeah, we could try that.
And then
Help me out and be like,
if they,
do
you know,
you need some muscle? I may not know too much about cars, but I got some muscle to help throw around if that helps.
So when you guys come up, Vic goes to try to talk to the guy. You walk up to talk to the girl. Vic, this dude is beyond intimidated by you. Like, he is a scrawny little college kid. You are just bigger than him in every sense of the word. So when he walks around and you say something about, hey, maybe we need a tire iron, despite the fact that there's not a problem with the tires, he is only too quick to be like, oh, I didn't think of that, and then walk around towards the back, allowing you to easily just pounce on top of him. Meanwhile, up at the front, Al talking to the girl, batting those pretty dead eyes. And the girl's obviously into it. So, with Vic occupying the dude, it is only too easy to use your kindred feminine wiles to take exactly what you want. So the question becomes from the pair of you, how much are you going to drink?
2.
two can be done safely, right?
It's 2, so drinking 2 from both of them would leave them both in a fairly intoxicated but still conscious state.
So we just prop them up in the car and
And you can play with their minds.
I was thinking of.
Yeah, and I was gonna say that's doable, but then what are you gonna do about the fact that they're gonna obviously know between the two of them that something happened?
Yeah, no, I'd have to do a little mind meld.
They just wore themselves out trying to fix the car.
Okay, so Al,
Hmm?
cloud memory is charisma and your discipline, so that's going to be 3, 2, so 5, so 4 and 1, since you're both coming down to a single hunger.
I'm gonna look.
Mm.
Oh
Mm,
yeah.
I'll
Oh
take
yeah.
tree. I'll take tree.
So the last 25, 30 minutes just kind of vanishes as you tell them to forget. And they kind of are looking at one another, kind of blinking. And then the dude kind of notices that his car is still smoking and has a giant, oh shit, freak out moment. When he tries to get out of the car, he kind of stumbles and falls, prompting the girl to say something to the effect of, "Are you drunk?"
And then wait, am I drunk?
And then as you guys slip from the scene, the only thing that you can hear now is the slightly slurred yelling as the two of them start to fight.
Well done.
Michael, how are you starting your evening?
Same as like so always if unless like there's somebody there. Emails, messages.
Nothing, all business related.
Call into uh the beacon, see if everything's all right and handled.
Everything seems to be really good. Moira gives you some read offs of numbers. Things are good. The business is going as well as it ever did at New Rain.
Lovely.
Money is pouring in. Having the additional bars, I mean, it's an additional cost, but the amount of money that's coming in, there's a bigger, slightly larger margin there. Door fees are doing just as well as they ever did. And then she kind of pauses for a second. She goes, I don't have a really fantastic way to ask this question.
Go ahead.
There is a redheaded asshole who is standing outside the club saying that you have sanctioned him being here. Are we letting him in?
Ah, shit. Do I remember how much I got off of the thing last time?
It was quite worth it.
Yeah.
He was Slade had a successful first night out, and the house's cut was not insubstantial, combined with the fact that there were
I mean, it's a
numerous.
club. It's a club. Like, yeah. Like, yeah, he's allowed in as long as it's not loud. I mean, despite him being loud.
You hear her muttering something about fucking canary yellow. Jesus Christ.
What?
Before she goes, all right.
He's gone too far now.
Ooh.
Canary
Didn't see
yellow,
canary
I
yellow.
say.
She goes, I will let you see this disaster when you get here. Jesus Christ.
Ah, fuck me. And I hang up the phone.
It better be a
I shoot off-
Pikachu onesie.
Right? I shoot off
This is
a couple texts to Nawal. And who was our other little Nos?
Which one? You've got a couple of them that are kind of hovering around now.
we started with the B. I'm trying to remember.
Hildegard.
Brittany.
Brittany.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Brittany, she's still staying with us.
She's still living in the club.
Awesome. So yeah, I'll text her like because like she's generally like on Snoop duty. So I'm gonna just go ahead and try and see if I get any info report from Noel and Brittany. It's gonna be very weird that her name is Brittany.
It's Brittany, bitch.
I was waiting for one of us. I was waiting.
Oh, too good, too good.
So the text from the messages come back from Noel that there have been several more mysterious. When she texts that in quotations, deaths of Duskborn across the city. Many appear to be accidental, but most appear to be pretty straightforward, bloodthirsty murder.
So it's
Brittany,
basically when she says like she's like interesting as in like murdered, like they've just disappeared or murdered. Okay.
Brittany, doesn't really have anything. The only thing she tells you is that the club, once everybody leaves, um, she doesn't seem to like. There's nobody like wandering around the club after you guys are gone that she perceives. Like there's no. She doesn't hear or see any other Nos wandering around. There's nobody that she's perceiving that's using any sort of obfuscate. There's nobody who's just breaking in and wandering around. So basically, once you guys close the doors, the club appears to her anyhow to be empty.
Remind me to start setting up a bird's nest for her in there. Bunch of cameras and just shit too. I'm talking to myself about that, like Michael's talking to himself. And then yeah, I just pull myself together and head down to the club.
She texts you back to ask what you guys are going to do about the accumulating bodies.
Clean house.
I thought you texted Sabine
Yeah.
in the last session and asked for said to let her know that we needed some blood. So
Yeah, I did. Right? Yeah, that
You
reminds.
did you did the date, but you haven't gotten it yet.
I follow up on Sabine with that.
Sabine tells you that she has some blood bags ready for you, but you'll need to come pick them up. She can't spare any courier's time.
Okay.
I know what we're doing tonight.
Yep. So I go to check in on the club and see what canary yellow means because I'm horrified and already scared.
Okay,
and
so
to like gather the rest of the troops to go, or like whoever wants to ride with me to Sabine's.
So here is a question for everybody. So at this point, has everybody congregated at the club, or have some of you gone back to the apartments and some people are at the club? Where is everybody?
I was going to the apartment to look for everybody.
Okay, so when you get Idaho, when you get there, everybody's basically is gone, has departed, except for Alice. Oh no, excuse me, Alice and Vic are gone too. So no, everybody's basically is gone when you get there. Kai is already working the lights at the club. All the ghouls are gone. The only people, of course, in the apartment.
I'll say this much.
Are the Tremere.
I probably wouldn't have gone hunting in my work clothes. So let's just say that at least after we fed, I don't know what Vic did, but I broke off and went back to the apartment to change.
Yeah, I'd probably be going back to change into my my normal black suit night attire for going out and smashing people.
Man, those suits have gotten some use.
Hell yeah.
Oof.
A well-tailored suit will always get use.
Maybe the best gift you guys have gotten since this game started.
I think my next suit I'm gonna work on. I need to get a pinstripe with the fedora.
Yeah. I'm gonna get one in canary yellow.
So Idaho. So if you've headed to the apartments, and that would mean that the Vic and Al are there. Michael, you're at the club. So we will finish up with Michael and then kind of coalesce the group here in a moment. Like when you get to the club, Slade is already inside, leaning on Alice's bar, talking to Ruby. His red hair and red goatee are slicked with perhaps maybe a little too much product. He is wearing excessive chains, same as before, rings, the grill, but he has on a black leather kind of like it's like a vest with a white poofy shirt underneath of it, like kind of like a Renaissance Festival shirt that he has the gold bracelets over top of. And canary yellow leather chaps over a black pair of black leather pants with
I think he's just colorblind and he just sees things in different shades of gray at this point.
with rhinestone cowboy boots.
Oh hell yes.
When you get to the bar, he is talking with Ruby, and Ruby has like you can see she talks and then she has to like purse her lips because she's so, you can just tell from looking at her, so badly wants to make some sort of comment. She so badly wants to say something. In fact, Michael, it is so atrociously ugly and hideous. It's
What do
not
I have
enough,
to roll?
it was not enough to trigger your bane, but getting right there, like it takes all of your internal willpower, not just grab him and completely disrobe him fucking right there in the middle of the room, because
What holy garishness, Batman?
did you come up to him and say that to him?
Oh no, I go up to him and I say, well, hello, dread pirate sex carrots.
He goes, you know, that sounds like kind of an awesome name. I kind of think I might change my Xbox Live account name. That is amazing.
Oh,
Yes.
Lord.
You can
This
have the
guy.
name as well as you don't wear the outfit again.
He's like, he like looks down at himself like there's nothing wrong. He's like, sometimes you gotta lead. Nobody else wants to follow in the land of style, so sometimes you gotta lead.
Yeah, off the edge.
He's like, we always on that edge. We always hunting.
Just a point. It's not a sex club. Dial it back.
He's like, it could be a sex club.
Only on Thursdays.
Watch it.
Speaking of, what night of the week is it?
I'll be like, if you start dressing,
Tuesday.
if you leave the leather and the latex at home and get a little less risky, I'll give you a tab at the bar.
He thinks about it for a second and then looks down at his clothes and goes, I'm okay with paying for my drinks. I like to tip.
Fine. No leather, no latex. Not a sex club.
He looks very dejected.
Maybe a different tune on Thursdays if you feel like risking it.
He's like, I might think about it, but I don't think I'm going to be nearly as welcome as I will be here tonight.
Well, under this roof, until I say otherwise, you are always welcome.
He's like, hey! And he goes to give you a big hug.
Nope. No. No. I can smell the leather from here. No.
He's like, so
But I do offer him a handshake.
he takes it. He's so, before I let you get back to doing your business and I get back to doing my business, because my business is good for your business, he says, is there anything that I should be
My
looking
business
out
is
for?
good for your business.
Anything you're trying to hear? Anything you're trying to say? He said, I'm glad to be the canary in the coal mine for you. You want me to put out a message?
Oh, shit. God damn it. Why do I get this offer and not have anything planned? I was like, keep your ears to the ground about the whereabouts of certain royalty or supposed royalty. Otherwise, I'll keep that in mind. I appreciate it.
He says, I will definitely keep my ear to the ground for any words about the royals. Before you walk away, he goes, Harry and Meghan were right to walk away from those assholes.
Ah, God damn it. And I turn around and I look and I'm like, just to I give him a look, making sure he knows what I'm talking about.
No, he doesn't.
He looks at you the way he has always looked at you. So
We're talking, and I'm like, and I go back to him and I'm like, just so there's no misunderstanding, I'm talking about blue-blooded kindred, so to speak.
Oh. Well, I will definitely do that. I got you.
Good man. And I walk off.
So doors open. It's not a slamming night, but there are people waiting to come in. Romano's got it handled. Everybody, bars are starting out. Are you guys heading immediately to Sabine's, or are you gonna take some time at the club? What are you guys doing?
I wanted to fill Michael in on at least.
Yeah, I
the
figure a
last part of the
powwow
session.
would be needed.
Yeah. That's why I went to the apartment looking for Michael.
So
Yeah.
I'm at the club, and I'm gonna text everybody, be like, I think it's a night for housekeeping. Who wants to go to Sabine's?
I'm going to text back and say,
We need to do a pickup.
I'm going to text
All
back
right.
and say, we have something very important to share with you, probably before we do anything else.
Be right there. Getting a snack. And I try to get a snack.
All right, 6 dice. Include your hunger die.
Oh, silly. How many dice is it? Ooh.
6, including your hunger. So for you, Mr. Starwell, that would be 4 and 2.
4.
Mm.
Are you freaking kidding me? Why is nothing working for me today?
You need to refresh it.
No. I need my computer to not be goobers. You said 4 and 3?
4 and 2.
You
Here
give
we
yourself
go.
Oh, nice.
No, you're good.
So,
You're good. The beast doesn't mean anything, remember?
yeah, I don't know why that.
It's still scary.
So you head out onto the dance floor. You're jamming to something that the DJ's putting on, and you happen to, out of the corner of your eye, while you're kind of getting your dance in for the evening, your eye catches on a girl. To say that she looks like a Hollywood starlet is a bit of an understatement. She is gorgeous.
Yummy.
And so you flit across the dance floor. You're up on her, and she is all about it. Hands all over you, arms all over you. And her hair is long, so it is easy to tuck your face into the nape of her neck at her shoulder and sink your fangs in. So the
Nom, nom,
question,
nom, nom.
Mr. Starwell,
Yes, sir.
while you are drinking this delicious blood, how deep are you drinking tonight?
Oh, not very. Just enough to I'm at like a 2? Just enough to get me down to a 1.
So you drink, you lick her neck, and she looks like she is in utter ecstasy. And you can tell that she's about to be very clingy. Song changes. You hold your finger up to say, "Be right back," and you are gone like a ghost. And off to the apartments.
Yep. Trot, trot, trot.
Crip walk.
What's up, guys? No.
So,
What's up, my mother suckers?
oh my
Oh.
god.
I'd be like, oh, what's he on?
Yeah, where is Michael and what have you done with him?
I will make a note.
No.
No.
I'm just playing. Michael didn't do that. I'm just feeling a little randy.
So you guys are, I'm guessing you guys are going to meet at the conference room at the apartments?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I will hand the conch off and let you all talk.
Hold on one second.
While we were waiting for Michael to have his little fun on the dance floor, I also would
try to
have
get
wanted to
comfortable.
shoot a text over to the lawyer.
You're a lawyer.
Mhm.
Okay, what are you asking? What are you texting the lawyer about?
Basically going to say we went to check out the house where the kids are, the foster house where the kids are staying, and though we didn't find anything that I would have necessarily said was bad or criminal, we did find some things that seemed a little out of the ordinary, maybe not the best environment for kids. Certainly stuff I would assume that they would have hidden from anybody that was giving them a check to determine if they should be foster parents. And I'm going to just kind of give a gist of what went down and also send copies of the pictures we took of all the lethal accoutrements all over the wall.
I mean, what kind of a gist? If you're talking to a lawyer, you really have to be careful what you share with them, because if they know something, they can't not know it. It's
Well, so
like a thing.
I really don't know, and Idaho doesn't either. So
Okay.
we went to the house. Everything looked okay. We couldn't find the girl. They had a freaking sex party, and it just kind of explained what was going on.
Word.
And the again, I don't know what the foster board would think about this sort of thing, but it would have been real easy. The boy was there. It would have been real easy for him to walk into the party. There was nothing. There was no locked doors. There was no nothing. He was just asleep.
There was just an understanding that the boy shouldn't
Yeah.
come downstairs on these nights.
So you get a message back from the lawyer very quickly, and the response is basically this. So you're telling me that you went to the foster home, either you broke in or canvassed it, took pictures of inside of somebody's domicile,
Mm-hmm.
and are providing this information. And the next text is basically like, none of this is admissible or usable. This is like, I can't even begin to touch this without having some sort of.
Well, maybe we should find a better lawyer because that
You
sounds like
could-
some horse shit to me. So what I'm going to say
Well,
is,
you could mention that you were invited into the home.
that's what I was going to say.
Okay, sorry, I jumped the gun. I'm sorry. Because
Say,
I was there too. I don't want to get my ass in trouble either.
I'll be like, I don't know. I guess maybe you haven't worked with CPS very much because they often go on word of mouth. But far be it from me to tell a lawyer how not to do a good job. I was invited into the house by the owners.
He says, okay, that's a little different. So
We went there and we got inside. I was invited into the house, and then I was invited to the party. And I asked the guy, is he worried about the boy coming down in the middle of some freaking sex orgy? And he said, oh no, he's asleep. He won't come down here. Stuff like that. I got no problem with sex orgies, but I didn't feel comfortable with the kids being in that environment. And we could not find Tracy. She wasn't there.
the lawyer, there's a little bit of a wait. The lawyer texts back. So one of the kids is completely missing.
Not according to him. They said that they had her staying somewhere else for the evening. So I don't know what that means. I was not able to determine where she is.
He texts back. The lawyer texts back very quickly and says, if she hasn't shown back up reasonably quickly after she was released from custody by the local PD, then this is a missing persons case.
Okay, I'm just going to step out of game for a second because this lawyer is confusing the fuck out of me. Because I feel like who gives a shit how we got the information? This is plenty to go on to let the foster agency know and for them to do an investigation. And nobody said she was missing. The guy said they knew where she is and she wasn't at home. She was staying with somebody else for the night.
So one, even if you have viable information, if the information is not obtained in a way that's usable, they're not going to do anything about it. Otherwise, you could be crank calling.
Which gets auditors out to your house in Texas all the time. Just saying.
The other question.
We're not in Texas. We're in Philly, bud.
No shit, but I'm just saying.
Texas is the Wild West, y'all. You guys, yeah, sorry. No, Philly, Pennsylvania, not the same.
The other thing that I was going to say is that, so the lawyer informed you that she had been taken into custody,
mm-hmm.
and then had been released out of custody. You're telling him that the next time that you guys went to that domicile, that she wasn't there and that she was somewhere else.
Yes.
So, out of game, the lawyer is looking at the timeline and basically saying, so the last known place that she was
was when she was released from
when
custody.
she was with the cops. After that, she's gone missing. So that is, even if they're saying she's not there and you guys didn't find any evidence that she was there, that's a missing persons case.
Right. Especially since it's like
You guys are
you
totally
are
off your
checking
rocker,
in.
man. I'm not okay. So I could go to my neighbor's house and their kids are spending the night with somebody else, but because the kids aren't there and I don't see them, they're missing. That didn't make any fucking sense. But whatever gets the lawyer involved, I don't care.
No, that's not it. It's the fact that it's not like you go to your neighbor's house and they're missing. It's you go to your neighbor's house, one of the children here, one are there, and if it doesn't show up within like 12 hours, let's say, of a sleepover, then it's super questionable. Then you really have to start wondering if like
That's okay.
that
I
person's coming
understand what
back.
you're
So
saying.
like if you
That
come
is
back,
not
if you go
the
back
case.
and
Yeah.
check tonight, he's telling you and she's not there. He's telling you basically, if you go back and check tonight and she's not there, you have a missing persons case in that sense at that moment. If you can't find her tonight or the next night. So he's giving you tools. He's giving you the tools.
I didn't hear the lawyer say go back and check, and I mean,
No,
whatever.
he didn't say, he doesn't have to say that.
Actually, I believe what I said was, if you went back and looked and she's not there tonight, then you have a missing persons case.
All right, whatever. I'm not a lawyer. That just totally sounds like that makes no sense to me, but okay, that's cool.
So
It's from your perspective. Because
It's from the perspective, I have a kid and like, I would send my son to stay with his grandmother for the weekend. If somebody who was not in my family came over and he's not there, and then they come over the next day, he's not there, he's not a missing person.
yeah, but you are a bloodhound.
well, now what I would say to that is, if your son had been released from custody and the last place that anybody had seen him,
I don't know what, see, you guys are
No.
making,
You have to listen to him. Just
it's
listen
not
to
the last
him.
place. Oh
Yeah,
my
the
God.
last
the
place that
last
anybody,
place that anybody that wasn't the family saw him was the police officers.
Okay.
the foster family especially, because foster is very different than a family. You
They
have
didn't-
less rights. You are more like, you're supposed to be more accountable.
Yeah, but having knives all over the place is cool. I mean, this just makes no fucking sense to me. But like I said, whatever.
Because one is a judgment on a lifestyle, the other is factually be able to locate the child in question. You
Also,
can't judge somebody on a lifestyle, but they
Yes,
are
you can
responsible.
when it comes to the safety of
They
children.
are
I've seen-
responsible. No, they are responsible for the
All right, this
safety
is
of the
taking way
child.
too
So
much
if the
freaking time,
safety of the
whatever.
child is in question, that's actually a lead. If you say, I don't like what they get up to on the weekends, nobody can do shit. But if you're like, I'm worried because I haven't seen this child who should be here around with no reasonable explanation, somebody needs to go check up, that's a different thing.
Oh my God. Okay, whatever.
so now that I am completely off of about where we were, so that's the end of the lawyer texting.
Yeah, I just wanted to let the lawyer know what we found.
Okay, so you guys are all in the conference room in the apartments.
Yep.
So what are you going to discuss? Or are you going to leave and head up to Sabine's club and discuss on the road?
No.
Oh, we could discuss.
Oh,
on the
I
way,
mean,
yeah, it's a pretty good
Michael's
drive.
Yeah, we can discuss on the way. That's
Yeah, it's a
fine.
pretty nice drive. We could discuss on the way. That's cool.
Okay, so we will assume that you are all piling into the Charger,
Mm-hmm.
unless the three of you want to pile into the back and lay down in the back of the hearse. Well, Idaho drives.
Party time.
So, on the way to Guild, the conch has been passed.
Well, we were invited for a sit down. I actually found an invitation in the hearse. Woke up and it was just in there. So I don't know how it got there. I don't know when it got there, but it was just in there. and it was asking me to come to this fancy French restaurant for a trade. I didn't know who sent it. So after we got done at the foster kids' house, we went to this fancy French restaurant, which was in Cam territory, only to find that we had been invited there by the Scourge.
The Scourge, you say?
Yes, the Scourge. And she, of course, made a comment of thinking that I was going to come alone, and I had Vic and Al with me. And she basically told us that she was the one who took care of the vampires at Ten Toes. And that was her putting an ante on the table, is how she put it. So I don't know really how she was talking about trading, but I don't know if she was doing that as a warning.
She cleaned up the records and provided it to us.
Right.
So she.
Yeah. So it was sort of like, it felt to me like she was trying to simultaneously threaten us and act like she did us a favor.
Well, because she wants a deal.
Yes. So I asked her what was the deal with the trade, and she said that she wanted us to give her the 4 Dustborn that we are protecting. That being the 2 that are empty in the basement, and the best dresser of the year, Slade, and Ruby, obviously.
Ruby.
I basically told her to go fuck herself, but
yeah, and
wait, she offered to let us know where the prince was hiding.
No. So I said, what's the trade for? She said it's for a secret.
Okay.
That would help us to basically gain some sort of power or edge over someone very important in the city. But she wouldn't say what it was. So to me, it was basically just bullshit.
Okay.
And she probably has some sort of information like that, but whatever. And I told her that wasn't up to me anyway, that it wasn't within my power to grant her that. And basically, I was just buying time for us to just get out of there. She had a bunch of dudes there with her, but they were all human. And she also said something interesting. She said that for her, the hunting of the Thin Bloods was not about politics. And it wasn't even necessarily because the prince commanded it. She is a firm believer in the Book of Nod, and she thinks that the prevalence of Dustborn is a sign of the end times. And she said she will hunt them down, and she will continue to do so even if the blood hunt is lifted.
yeah, she's a fucking fanatic.
Stupid true believers, always misinterpreting their own fucking texts. All right.
Yep.
Is Brittany? Brittany's pretty scared, right?
I mean, Brittany is more scared of.
She's also not a Thin Blood.
She's kindred. She's a Nox.
No. But what were you saying, Nox?
I was gonna say, Brittany is scared because of the violence that she's seen outside of your club incurred by others.
Right.
She's just trying to keep her skin.
Yeah, she's traumatized. I'm gonna send a signal to. I'm gonna ask. Did you guys reach out and to Does anybody else know about this except us?
About the pitch deal from the Scourge?
Yeah.
No, we haven't talked to anybody.
And where did you see her last? What was the place?
It was this French restaurant, and whatever I've got, the address or the name, whatever I got off the invitation. And it's in
you still have the card, I'm sure.
The west side of Cam territory, like close to the edge.
Here, let me have the address, and then so you give it to me, and I shoot a text over Signal to Nawal, and I say, person of interest, the Scourge is posted up here trying to offer us secrets for lives. Do you want to see if you can discover what she's trying to bargain with?
So Noel texts back with regarding the address and says that's a known Camarilla-owned establishment. Probably not a haven, just a business.
Think you can get a read on her though?
Text comes back and be like, I mean, if I could find her.
That's the last place she was. She was there last night.
Noah says, text back, she'll look into it.
Appreciated. You're a doll. And then I'm like, all right, I got Noel to like check out. Maybe we can undermine what the scourge has. I say we go pick up the order from Sabine's so we can get rid of like
The trash in the
the
basement.
targets in the basement.
Oh my god. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's what we're doing. We're on the way. Let's do it.
So,
Oh yeah, sorry.
when you get to Sabine's club, as not busy or as middling busy as the Beacon is when you left, is how busy Guilt is tonight. There is a line going around the outside. People are dressed up. There are tons and tons of people waiting to get in. There is a party going on here.
Nice.
The church the steeple has been lit from the outside with emerald green spotlights from the bottom, which gives it kind of a enchanted kingdom kind of look. There are all of the ushers have on like a neon kind of paint on their face that kind of glows as they get near some of the lighting. That's the lights that are on the ground are interspersed. Like some of them are normal lights, some of them are black lights. So as the ushers are walking around, it's like their faces shimmer, like with a neon.
That's awesome.
Very cool.
When you park, an usher walks up. She is different from the other ushers that you have seen. The other ushers have almost always been men, kind of broad-shouldered, very able-bodied fellows. This particular usher, though dressed in the same black suit with the green pin, very thin, kind of waifish. Just a very different look. She also has the face paint on.
Probably the strongest one of the bunch.
She greets you at the car. And good evening. Is this your first night at Guild?
No,
No.
we're actually here to pick up a package from Sabine.
She goes, then come inside. And she leads you in. Inside, the entire club has been decked out in early Halloween decor. There are giant spider webs that have been cast between the catwalks overhead, with a giant mechanical spider that is hanging from the inside of the church down over the web, with people who, so when you are on top of the catwalk looking down at everything, it would almost be opaque. It would be very difficult to look down into the club. But for those people who are in the club who are looking up, the giant mechanical spider over everything that is jerking and moving in response to the heavy industrial music is, to say, a little creepy. The crowd loves it. The usher leads you in to the bar very near the altar, and asks you to wait. And she retreats downstairs. So, what do you do?
I take in the sights, man. Seeing what we can incorporate into our club. A lot of this without like being complete ripoffs, but we can definitely do some blacklight stuff.
Do we see anybody we recognize?
You don't see anybody that you recognize, although you certainly smell that there are kindred here. There are thin bloods here. There are a lot of humans. Some of them smelling very delicious. Of the kindred, there is one who is nearby. She is dancing on the floor. Her head is shaved very, very close. Not completely, but giving her a very, very severe haircut. Her skin is white, like alabaster white. Her dress, it is a very, very high-end trench coat. Michael, you would probably look at this and say, that's fucking several $1,000s that's dancing right there just on her back. A pair of designer boots, black pants, a white shirt, and a black tie. She is striking. She is dancing very slowly. She's also kind of staring at Vic.
I give Vic an elbow. I'm like, it seems you have an admirer. And nod my head over towards her direction.
I look. Do I recognize her?
You do not recognize her.
No one I know.
Go meet her.
Yeah, go get to know her, man. When was the last time you got any?
Yeah.
Right before we came out here.
I was about to say. The usher comes back up with a white styrofoam cooler.
We're tailgating.
It is completely nondescript. There's no outside markings. Could be anything you'd pick up from a random Quickie Mart. Comes back up and hands it to you, Alice, and says, my mistress is currently in the middle of a phone call. She regrets that she can't come up to discuss things with you. If you have some time to wait, she'd more than love to speak with you all, but she is probably going to be a bit.
Well, I touch the chest and I say, and how many, like, do I know how many vampires this would satisfy, or do I need to ask her?
I mean, without opening it, there's no way to know.
All right. So I would tap on this anomaly, and this is sufficient for how many kindred?
She says, you had mentioned you had a thin blood, or 2 thin bloods, was it? And then 2 kindred. This should be more than enough to rouse the thin bloods You will probably need to add some additional for the depending on how old those kindred are. Or you could simply let one continue to slumber and make only one.
Gesundheit.
Thank you.
I'm gonna say let me get enough to pad the chances.
She says, "Do you have the time to wait?"
I do.
She goes, "In that case," she takes the case back from you, Alice. She says, "We will put this back downstairs, and I will speak with my mistress about finding you some more."
And hopefully that'll co-align nicely with your mistress's availability.
She nods and smiles and heads back downstairs. This seems like an opportune time to take a quick break. So, let's say 5 after, and we will return.
Right. All right, everybody. Thanks for sticking with us. We will be back in a bit. And I apologize right now for the ad breaks that are running. They've been broken up a little differently. So I will warn you guys in chat when they're coming up. So you can hopefully not lose interest, okay? Because we'll be back. All right. Hit up that bio break and we'll be back in a few, guys.
just have a bunch of dogs wandering around the apartments all the time, you know.
You need a monkey.
Everybody needs a monkey.
Now, what about chimps? Chimps are pretty hardcore. They're also very intelligent.
I mean,
Alright.
could you do that?
They're
Sure.
also very willful.
Yeah, but I have magical vampire powers, though.
Yeah, that's not going to be a problem for Idaho here.
Fair.
I mean,
Well,
importing and getting the permit for the chip is probably the bigger question.
I'm just saying. I'm just trying to think of what's an animal that would be useful that could be kept around to have handy, rather than having to rely on the possibility of an animal being around. That's all I'm trying to think of.
Gerbil.
Well, I got 10 of those. Well, you know, as far as you know. I mean, you can't see them, but they're here.
God damn it, Richard.
well, we're back, everybody.
Bald eagle.
We walked into a very odd conversation, but we're back. Thanks for sticking with us. You've just joined us. Welcome to the playground. I'm Pixie. I'm a variety streamer here on Twitch. Monday nights are my live-action role-playing Vampire the Masquerade Philly by Night sessions. I'm joined by Knox, our storyteller. Skot plays Idaho. Zack plays Vic.
Hey-o.
Got Martha playing Michael. And I'm Alice. So let's jump back into it.
So that is the visual that you will have in your head for the rest of the scene. So while you are waiting for Sabine to get off of her phone call and to come back, for her to come back, or the usher to come back with more blood, you have some time to wander the club, partake of the entertainment, partake of the what's behind the bar, and perhaps do some socializing. So, what are you guys going to stay together as a group? Are you guys going to spread out? What are you guys going to do here?
I'm probably gonna chill at the bar.
So is that girl on the floor still eyeballing Vic?
Yes.
And Vic, you're not going to go talk to me?
Mm.
If you're not going to, I'm going to.
Go for it.
All right.
So
So I'll basically take a note. I'll pass a note in class from Vic to this girl. Do you like me? Check the box, yes or no.
Added box, drop dead.
Too late for that.
Okay, so you're going to go approach the woman. Vic, you're at the bar. Alice, Michael, what are you doing?
I'm honestly probably sticking around with Michael just because there's nothing here that interests me. You know, I'm used to fucking bar life, so for me, if I'm not behind the bar, I don't really know what to do with myself at this point, so.
I am posted up next to the bar with Vic and Pixie, and I give Vic the tiniest bit of a hard time for not going to chat with that beautiful girl. And then I start and I'm like, keep your eyes and ears open, see if anybody notices anything. If you see whatever you can notice or catches your eye. And then I start scanning for beautiful faces.
Okay, so a little bit of a split group here, although not technically too much, as the woman is not dancing very far. Idaho, when you head out on the dance floor and go to dance with her, the very first thing that hits you is the smell. It is death. It is dead, dying things. It is an earthy, rotting smell. When you sidle up to dance, she continues to dance, but she doesn't actually say anything.
Okay, well then I will. I'll say, "Hi, I'm Idaho."
She nods and says, Helena.
Are you sure she's not familiar?
I mean, you can probably recognize what clan she's from.
Yeah, and I'm thinking that I'm scanning through my notes. I could have swore. I guess not. Damn. We've never met her before?
Nope.
God, she seems so totally familiar. I don't know why. All right. Let's see. Basically just trying to introduce myself and get to know her. I don't think I've ever seen you around before. Do you like to come out to Sabine's?
She kind of looks at you and kind of dead faces you. Like, there's the amount of emotional input that you're getting from Helena's face is almost non-existent. It's one of those things where in a place like this, you know that she can pass without any problems. Anywhere where there might be more people who looked at her even a little bit, you just know this kind of attitude and this kind of outward appearance would immediately raise some questions.
Sure.
When she responds, it is a little slow, a little measured. She says, no, this is one of my first nights out. I have not been here long.
So you're new to the city?
There is another very long pause, and she goes, I suppose.
Well, welcome to Philadelphia.
She nods and gives the briefest hint of a smile. She says, your friend looks familiar.
Are you from New York City?
She nods and she goes, yes. She goes, we Putanescas, we are. And there's a very, very, she is, pauses. You can tell she is struggling for the correct word when she looks up at you and says, notorious.
Well, I'll be happy to let him know you're here.
She nods and says thank you. And then kind of shuffles off into the crowd.
Yeah. All right, I'll head back to the bar.
At the bar, the bartender is chatting with the three of you and asks if you are interested in a drink.
Do not. He's eating. I guess we would have to ask what kind of drink.
I will say yes.
The bartender nods at you, Michael, and produces 3 Soho cups that are filled about a third of the way and passes it across the bar. So, who is drinking?
Screw it, I will. Been a crazy couple of days. Fuck it.
All right. Vic, are you drinking?
Sure.
So, the 3 of you lift your glasses. Is anybody toasting?
Sure. Hit the bar.
The blood is tart. It is the feeling of running down a dark night. It is the feeling of being pursued. It is the fear of being hunted, the thrill of escaping. It is a long night's walk back to a safe place. It is savory. It is the knowledge of having saved one's own life, the ability to survive. It is not as warm, or shall we say, as pleasant as some of the drinks that you have been served in Sabine's club, but it is nevertheless a experience. So, after a brief wait, the usher comes back up again and has a second white styrofoam cooler. She hands both of them to you, Alice, and says, "These should be enough. Sabine will be up here shortly, but she does not have much time. She wanted to make sure that these found your way to you."
Thank you.
So, after a couple minutes more, Sabine comes up. Tonight, she is dressed in robes that very much resemble the Grim Reaper. They are, of course, emerald green. And to complement the look, she is also carrying a very real and very bejeweled scythe. She has had her face painted with a death's head in that neon paint. And when she comes to the bar, she is very quick to dole out cheek kisses and squeezed hands. She says, I'm so glad that I got the opportunity to see you for. I don't have much time, unfortunately, but I am glad that you stopped by tonight.
Getting to see you for a glimpse at that face is always worth the trip.
She smiles and does her best Grim Reaper pose, which is not very threatening.
I laugh warmly and say bravo.
She goes, there are so few holidays that mean anything to us. I should at least do the one that does.
Agreed.
She goes, might I ask what this blood that you were searching for, who is going to be partaking of it?
Unknown as of yet. Well, for all of it.
We need to wake them up and find out who they are.
We know who they are. She even knows who one of them is.
I believe she actually knows who 3 of them are.
Oh, that's
Are they
right.
hers?
No, they were all people that she wanted evicted from her club.
Well,
And we took care of it. Well, maybe not the first guy.
so she nods and she goes, well then, I imagine that you would like to evict them from your own premises as well. So I will get back to my unfortunate business conferences.
I do love the new toy.
She smiles at you, Michael, squeezes your hand and says, you should be less of a stranger.
I will do my best.
Before she leaves, she looks at you, Alice, and says, you should know that there are locals here who are asking about your stone.
Touchstone. Ruby.
Oh, okay. I thought we were talking about like one of my other touchstones. I'm like, what? What
Maybe
did they
one
have
of
to
your
do with
other
anything?
touchstones.
What do you want to know?
She says, I don't want to know anything, but
What?
they are very curious about her.
Curious about what?
Sabine kind of gives a nonchalant shrug and says, I haven't seen any of them tonight, but perhaps you should come by and ask them yourself.
I do think that might be a smashing idea.
And with that, Sabine bows in a very dramatic fashion and disappears back downstairs, leaving you
Let's not waste any more time.
So,
As we're strolling back out to the car, though, I'm going to mention to Vic what I found out about the girl on the dance floor. So yeah, this girl, her name is Helena Hildegard.
you and
From-
H names.
Putanesca.
Heather, Heath, R.
Yeah, from New York. She's new here from New York City, and she said she thought she recognized you.
Now, Vic, you know the last name Putanesca. It is usually associated with some very unsavory characters.
Oh. There was a reason I left New York.
Hey, you don't owe me any explanation. Just letting you know that that's who she is, and she says that she thinks she recognizes you. So that's that.
Out of game, she'd have to be pretty old because it was turned, what, 40 years ago?
Are you sure there's no more pictures of you beforehand?
I don't know.
Worth mentioning is that of the members that you have so far met, the members of the Hakata age does not seem to be something that particularly wears on them. So, you have what you came for. What are you doing now?
Back to the Beacon basement.
Well, once in the car, because would I have heard all of that stuff with the lawyer with Idaho? Like overheard it?
Oh,
I
Did you
think
share
that was
that with
text
us?
message. I don't think that was voice. That was text, right?
Yeah, no.
It was when we were waiting on you to come to the.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, and you didn't share it with us when we all met up, right?
I mean, if we would have had time, I would have shared it. I think the main thing we were discussing on the way to Sabine's was the meeting with the Scourge, because that was a way bigger deal.
Would you want to do a
Welfare
pit
check.
stop?
Well, like on the way back, since
Yeah.
we're in the vicinity. Yeah, let's do it. Sounds like a good idea.
So you would ask.
Yeah, that is a
So-
really good idea. I always forget where the foster house is. It's actually close to Guilt.
So, as you drive into the neighborhood, Idaho, you can't help but smirk as you see a certain Karen patrolling the neighborhood, maybe still looking for you from last night,
Oh my god!
wondering
Well,
where you disappeared to.
I am kind of hungry.
She looks like she might be a little gamey.
That didn't turn me off.
When you get to the house is still lit up. It is still reasonably early. The lights upstairs are off, but the lights on the ground floor at the foster home are still on.
Okay. Well,
Bloodhound.
no, this was actually Al's thing last time with obfuscation. She basically cased the majority of the house, while Vic and I were keystone copying it up through the neighborhood. So I can go peek through the window again, unless somebody that can actually turn invisible wants to go do it.
Yeah, let's not get caught. You can't be caught involved in this if it's going to have any chance of like doing what I think you're trying to do.
So, what are you guys gonna do?
Who's up for it, Vic or Al?
Well, wait a minute. It's safe to say at this hour the kid should be in the bedroom.
I mean, it's late enough for there to be a big party jumping at a nightclub. I figured it was kind of late.
So if I just yeet up and check into the kid's bedroom window, would that be enough? Or maybe, just do the whole second floor like I did before?
Whatever works. I think that depending on what time it is, if she wasn't in her bed, doesn't mean she's not somewhere else in the house. Right?
True.
That's why,
I'm
like,
just
that's why,
ruling
like,
things out.
right, like if they're abusing her, she might be locked up in the basement. So like the
Well-
bloodhounds, I vote bloodhounds.
No, we kind of ruled the basement out.
Well, the basement, we'd have to go inside if we wanted to check out the basement,
Oh, okay.
which, always try to figure out some way in.
Yeah, but you would be able to smell the child through the upstairs, right? Like
I don't
you'd
know.
be able to smell her in the house. My
So here I would say this: if you have been around her twice, but there's been some time delay here, and it's not like you drank her blood. So you would, if you caught the scent, probably recognize it. But if you, I guess what I'm saying is, if it was nearby, you probably would be able to recognize it. But it's going to be a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, that's kind of the way I took it from last time as well.
Also, I will, however, throw this as kind of a retcon to detail. When you were downstairs in the basement, you did not smell.
Yeah, that's what I was going for when I finally got in the house. If I picked up her scent or anything, but I did not.
No.
Not in the. And I never went upstairs. I was just on the first floor. Did I pick her scent up in the house? Like she'd been there before, like in the kitchen or the living room or anything?
Now, you didn't pick anything up when you were in the living room or in the kitchen, but again, been some time. But you definitely, given the fact that you knew that there was blood that had been spilled downstairs, you also didn't smell anything like that downstairs.
So far, it's still just an absence of evidence.
Which is, to your point, not evidence of absence.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I mean, Al, if you want to just go peek through the window, if she's asleep in bed, then we know. If she's not, then again, we're still kind of wondering what's up.
Yeah. Guess I have to obfuscate and then, well, make my way up to the roof and then obfuscate, obviously.
Okay, so Vic, are you going to do what you did the previous night, which is to basically go to that corner of the house and then lift her onto the fence?
Yeah, I realized I was muted. I was offering to. I was muted though, I think.
Oh,
Okay.
I was saying, did you want to do a repeat of last time we were here? We just both go and I'll lift you up onto the roof. That might be a little bit quieter than.
yeah, for sure.
Yeet.
Yeet we go.
Okay, so are you both using obfuscate or only you, Alice?
I think whatever it takes just to get to that side of the house. I know we had talked about the floodlights coming forward, so if there's a way to slink, behind and...
So the garage here for this house is set back from the house itself. So yes, there are lights. However, there are also all of those vehicles still in the driveway. So the lights catch the vehicles, but they're not. So it prevents a lot of light from kind of diffusing down and out.
So how?
Remember, the 4 vehicles in the driveway were there before any of the parties showed up.
That's right. They sure were.
All 4? Okay, I thought there was just like 2.
Were there. So
okay.
Some people have a lot of cars.
But yeah, I mean, if we have cover, shadow for cover, then whatever, like however we have to slink around.
Okay.
I'm okay rousing it to go invisible.
So are you guys going to both use your obfuscation abilities and then head to the fence and then you'll lift her up, or are you going to head to the fence, lift her up, and then she'll use her obfuscation once she's already on the fence? distance.
I mean, it's probably safer
just
to
made my
obfuscate on the way there.
Way there, yeah.
Okay, in that case, so Vic's fine.
Do I just route
You can just reroll
same
that.
roll? Okay.
Alice is not.
Come on.
Good thing you fed before this.
Right.
You'd have been at a 4.
As you
That'd been awesome.
cloak yourself in
Here.
shadows,
Quit bitching. Go to your tower.
you can
Oh.
hear that grumbling inside of you, voices clamoring. So, Vic lifts you up onto the fence.
Stop it, kitty cat.
You head to the point where you jumped over. Now, this will be a dexterity and stealth roll. So 2 and 2. Or, yes, 2 and 2.
One,
For
two
your
for
roll.
me. Okay. I'm sorry. My cat is like totally digging into my arm right now. Yes,
Feed
I
me.
know. I know. You want all the love. Stop it. We said 2 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
Quit nudging me.
I love you.
Truffles.
Pay attention.
Truffles. Stop it. Good girl.
Okay, so you leap onto the roof. Tonight, it is not nearly as stealthy as you were the previous night. You hit the roof and you successfully make the jump, but there is a bit of a thud as your feet hit the side of the house. This serves to create 2 separate problems for you. One, you know that you were loud enough that anybody who is nearby has probably just heard something bang against the house. 2, louder than a whisper. So you are quite visible now.
Shazbot.
Microphone.
So, what are you going to do?
Is there no shadow on the roofing whatsoever? Like an awning that's hanging a little bit that I could duck into? Like, is there literally any cover?
Well, once you're on the roof, you're not near any from where you are. You're not near any sort of window as where you are.
Okay.
So unless there's somebody who is like in a house nearby who's happening to look at the roof and notice, you are still basically unseen. It would simply
So you
be.
could
It's just
browse
another
him with what I can.
rouse check again to
Big money.
Hey, Truffles, I'm gonna have to put you down, babe. Feeling my arm here.
Alternatively,
Stop it.
I believe you actually have a reasonable dice pool. Look real quick here. You don't have a terrible dice pool for stealthing around. You've got 2 dex and 2 stealth. So if you don't want to risk your hunger,
Nah.
you could try to cat burglar this.
Yeah, let's try that. You're biting me. Why are you biting me?
So you already know. So here's the next question for you. Are you going to case the place like you did last night, basically going window to window looking? Or are you going to head straight basically over the crest of the house and then down to...
No. I'll go the same path as last time. Just kind of, being very, very careful
Yeah, she
to
might
make
not
sure
be
I'm
in
not
her
spotted
room.
in between windows.
She She might not
Okay.
be in her room, but she might be in the wrong room doing the wrong thing or being wrong.
So if it's 2 and 2. Wait. No, what are my dice again?
2 dex, 2 stealth.
Yeah, that's what
So
you just rolled.
Yeah, so
Oh, just re-roll the last one?
yeah, it would just be rerolling the last one if you needed to do any sort of stealthing.
Good.
So we will take that as the roll that you are using, the most recent one, for how you are traversing the roof. You are incredibly quiet as you are moving across the rooftop.
So.
Not quite the master of stealth that you were last night, but
Yeah, no shit.
as you head to the first and you peek into the office on the backside, though you wouldn't be able to see it from the front, obviously, the lights are not entirely off. There's the light is shining into the room of the computer monitor. There is underneath of the wall with all of the knives. There is some underlighting kind of displaying them. Here in the dark like this, with the lights off, the room looks significantly more ominous, even though you can tell it's the exact same room it was the previous night.
Okay.
Somebody let me out.
As you move on, that's not me. Okay. As you move on, and you get to the spare room, the bed is unmade. It looks like somebody had slept in there at some point, and then this
But
room
they did.
had been put back together. But there's nothing that's particularly lascivious or outstanding about the room. It still looks just like a very, very sparse, very simple spare bedroom. Even to the point where the sheets on the bed are white, the blankets are beige. Like it is boring.
Low budget hotel room.
Yeah. As you proceed to the next with the master bath, you are greeted by a sight. The man of the house is standing in the mirror. It looks like he's just showered, so he is buck naked. And he is covered in scar tissue on his back, on his back of his ass, on his legs, on the sides of his stomach. He is, and it's not like, for lack of a better way to say it, it doesn't look like this is accidental scarring. Like, it doesn't look like he was caught had road rash, or he was caught on fire or something like that. The scarring,
Is this some like kind of scar play or something like that?
it could be. It's from where you are. It's a little. The window is a little fogged up. It's real difficult to kind of see, and you're trying to move as quickly as possible, unless you are going to tell me that you want to try to study this guy's ass.
No interest.
But from what you're seeing, he is pretty severely scarred. A couple shitty tattoos to go with it too.
Would it be like a pattern, or would it be like?
Well, you said the
Like,
windows
is
are
there
fogged
patterns?
up.
Oh.
The windows are fogged up, so I can tell there's something fucked up, but I can't make out what it is.
So are you going to stay, or are you going to move on?
Keep moving on.
Okay, moving on. When you get to the next window, the stairwell is dark this time. There is some illumination coming from down the stairwell somewhere, from below. The lighting from the living room coming up for chance. But where the previous night the chandelier hanging from the ceiling had illuminated very well all of the photos. Tonight, no such luck, and it gives the hallway the something that you didn't notice before is that the photos are all not real, perfectly centered, or even like put square on the wall. Some of them are, some of them are not, and it gives the stairwell kind of a whirlwind effect, kind of like it's weirdly designed to look like a tornado or something. It's subtle, but it's definitely something that your mind is picking up on as an intentional pattern.
Okay.
The final window on the top is the kid's bedroom.
Knox, that's you.
The room is dark.
Escaped under the bed.
All right, fucking menagerie. Fine, leave, go, be gone.
It's my new minions. Send them over here.
Go.
I think you're
Go,
the only
go.
one without a cat, so.
I'm the only one without any sort of pet.
It's just you and me, Yoru. All right. So, where was I? Right, kid's bedroom. The lights are out. The one thing that you can see is that in one of the beds, there is somebody in the bed. In the other bed, there is no one in the bed. The bed is made. It is still very...
Hi, sweetie.
Do I have enough light to snap a photo? Without having to use flash?
There are no real sources of light in the room. You're
Okay.
basically going by what the light's coming in from behind you.
Yeah.
We thought we had the new iPhone. The lights don't need no light, right?
Right, exactly.
And if you believe that, I have a bridge to sell you.
We are looking to expand.
Ronald needs a house. So you could attempt to take your phone out and snap a photo. But somebody shining a light in the window.
Yeah, no. No. We're not chancing that shit. No. Keep moving.
That's the end of that is kind of the end of it. You are now at the corner where you dropped off, so you got caught by Vic last time here.
Okay. Guess we gotta roll for that shit, too.
I think I'd still be standing at the corner, so I hadn't moved, still invisible.
So are you going to drop off and hopefully get caught by the very invisible Vic?
Is he able to break his obfuscation from here in that
he could. All he needs to
But then he wouldn't be able to he'd have to roll to reapply it, right?
So
right.
Yeah, we'll fill it out.
What?
I'm down here.
That's true. If I can get close enough, I'll chance it. I'll chance the whisper.
All right.
He's gonna come out of it anyway.
So Vic.
No, this will prevent it. Well, no, because he's touching me.
If you miss him, it'll prevent it.
So Vic.
Do I want to take one for the team?
This is. So you're going to just try to catch her?
Quietly, yeah.
Quietly.
Dead.
All right. Then in that case.
Oh my god.
Up the difficulty.
It is in fact going to up the difficulty. This will be strength and stealth. And in order to catch her and not break your obfuscation or cause any sort of, this is going to be a very difficult roll. So you're looking at 5, 7, so 6 and 1 is your roll.
Ooh, I'm gonna spend a willpower.
Oh boy.
Hey.
Ah.
5 will do it.
Ah, nice.
Yay!
So, in a semi-incredible act of kindred supremacy here, you see Al kind of gracefully hop off the side of the house, and it is almost weird as she falls for about 4 feet, and then suddenly it's like gravity is defied, and she kind of is lowered very gently to the ground.
Awesome.
So, what are you guys gonna do now?
I guess go back to the car.
Yep. Get the fuck back to the car.
So while they were doing their shenanigans, while Michael and I were chilling in the car waiting on them, I would have basically been sort of filling Michael in on what we did last night and what we saw inside the house and all that stuff.
Okay. So, Vic and Alice get back to the car. I'm assuming, Alice, you're gonna fill everybody in on what
Yep.
you did and didn't see.
Yeah, not
Like,
not
not a
much to
crowd.
report, sadly.
So, what are you guys gonna do now?
Just head back to the club. We got some blood
I'm-
that's not
yeah.
gonna stay fresh.
And on the
Right.
way, I'm gonna try to get in touch with my cop friend again.
Who's driving?
I guess Vic is?
You,
I would assume
Vic?
Vic is driving.
Vic?
Okay.
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 Then I will also text the lawyer on the way back and say we checked and she's not here.
He says the lawyer texts you back immediately and says, "I'll make a call."
Thanks.
Al, when you call Nolte, he picks up on the second ring, and he's like, "Hey, I got your voicemail."
And what'd you think?
He says, "Well, so let's pause for a second. What information exactly did you convey in your voicemail?"
That I heard some concerning news about some children that I saw or helped into foster care. Little flub that, but you know. And I heard some disturbing news, went by to try to check on the kid, and she's missing. And I'm just wondering if you can give me any information you might have if they're in the system.
So I'm going to, for the purposes of this, assume that you guys have a last name. So when you provide that to Nolte,
I haven't.
he
Of the kids.
Oh, I thought you were like, we were trying to be all one name awesome with our cop friends. I'm just Alice.
no. So you were able to provide him with Tracy's full name.
Okay.
He searches it up. He comes back and he's like, "So we had her listed as a runaway. She got picked up. She had some bruising. She claims she got into a tussle with some homeless people. There's some stuff about the story that didn't exactly match up, but then we released her back to her foster parents. That's the last that we have anything of her in the system."
Well, I've got it on good authority that she's been gone at least 2 days now from that foster family. And like I said, I just felt for these kids. I wanted to, make sure they were in a safe environment. So,
Nolte, there's a very long pause. And then Nolte's voice comes down noticeably. And he says, do you think that there is anything that is going on?
Yes.
Do you think that there is a reasonable chance that something has happened to these kids and that the foster parents are the cause?
Reasonable.
I have reason to question why the story doesn't add up, just like you've seen it on your end. She is gone. Brother's still there in the house. Seems fine. So it seems even more odd to me that they would just hone in on the one kid if, you know.
Unless like they send her to rehab.
Nolte is like, okay, so I'm not going to ask how you know these particular things. Says, but since you apparently have some of this information, I'm going to ask you this: does it look like there's anything wrong with the other child?
Not that I saw from as close as I got, and he was fully clothed. Hit the button. Thank you.
Now, Alice, you would have a little bit more information than that since you attempted to do share the senses with
Oh,
him and
yes.
actually
Okay.
inhabited his body.
That's right. I did forget that little nugget.
Very briefly before you almost retched all over the lawn.
Yeah. That would have been a mess.
Indeed, it would have been. That is a spot-on assertion. So you know that there is, aside from all of the stuff that overwhelmed you, that there was no pain, there was nothing like that.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'll go ahead and confirm that, no, this kid, the boy seems fine. They sat down and had a meal together. They sent him off to bed at an appropriate time. I won't say anything they did after that was appropriate, but yeah, I'm just real worried for this kid.
So it sounds to me like there's either one of three possibilities. And at this point, his voice has kind of come up. He's not trying to conceal it. He says either A, she's a chronic runaway, which, what's the reason for that? He says B, something is going on, and she is either missing or is, God, I hate to say this, but is gone.
Mm.
He said, or C, there is something else that is not being considered here. He said, I can send a squad car by and I can forward information on to CPS and have them, doing some investigation based on an anonymous tip that you're providing and the fact that she's missing. He said, but as of right now, he goes, I'm kind of inclined towards A. He's like, we've already picked her up on runaway charges. It's not entirely out of the question that she ran away again.
Okay,
Why
so
she ran away now?
So at this
Why she ran
point,
away, I don't know.
yeah. So what would it take to get a CPS check-in and get a missing persons out there?
I mean, if she's run away, why haven't they reported it yet? If they're her
That's what I'm
foster
saying.
parents, that needs to be reported ASAP. Sorry.
So the question, Al, you're asking about what it would take to get a CPS check and to file a missing persons report.
Mm-hmm.
Nolte says, "Well, we can do the CPS check." He goes, "That's not a problem to make that call."
Okay.
He said, "But without having something else to go on here other than your say-so, declaring someone to be a missing persons is going to be difficult." He says, "Do you have anything else that would be a little more substantial? Because if the CPS goes out there and they can't find them, that'll be declared as soon as CPS declares it.
Okay. I mean,
But
if
if you're
we,
trying to get it declared early, I need something more to go on."
no, I understand, but I mean, if we can, if one can happen from the other, then yeah, I would appreciate it if you could put that in for me.
He goes, "All right, I will." I said, "I will put a call in and say that there is a potential issue, that there needs to be a check. I can come up with something that'll sound at least reasonably plausible to."
I mean, I have evidence that they keep weapons in the house.
He's like,
That substantial enough?
"Is it a flamethrower? Are they making bombs in the basement? Are they?"
A lot of knives and swords and sharp objects, more like it.
Like, whoa. On it.
He's like, "So they're Ren Fair junkies?" Like, he goes, "I mean,
It didn't quite
it's
look at it like that from my perspective. I'm simply trying to give anything I can, because out of character, Idaho was not able to get any proof of the party, correct?
That's right.
no, he couldn't take any
Yeah,
photos
we
down
couldn't
there."
get any photos, we couldn't get any sound, we
So
couldn't
all
get.
I have is the picture of the knives downstairs, which I can, forward on if
Okay.
it helps.
No, he doesn't sound like he's much interested. So, okay. Yeah, if I can't provide anything more substantial than that, but if I can just know that I've done something to help this kid, that's what matters right now.
Nolte goes, I'll put the call into CPS and try to get a check forced out of it, because it's not my department, and I don't have any
I
sort
know,
of
man.
sway over there, but I'll do what I can.
Thank you, man.
Yep.
Anything I can do for you, sir?
He goes, "Open tab when I come down to the bar."
Of course.
Sweet.
It's been a while. You'll like the new decor.
He goes, "Jesus Christ, I can't do electronic music. How old do you think I am?"
Just drink more.
We do have a lounge now.
He goes, "Oh, I might check that out."
Hey, don't we have two
Yeah,
different types of music? Like
the upstairs is like a bar. You
We
don't
should
have to go.
We need to introduce him to Slade.
Cool.
Oh, Lord, y'all trying to get me in trouble.
So, can I ask a quick out of game question?
Sure.
Does Idaho know Hans's last name?
No, I don't think that would have ever come up in
Shit.
your.
And you're messing around.
Yeah, I thought it was a stretch, but I mean, I'm really worried that he was there, and I would like some way to. Do I know where he lives? Do I know what do I know about him besides his name?
You know the types of shit that he's into.
Well, yeah.
If you were going to, you know that you could probably fairly reasonably, if you chose to indulge in that scene, you could probably come across him within a reasonable time period. But in terms of like personal information or anything like that, I mean, you could go hunting for him. You knew him from the scene.
Yeah.
So asking questions is probably not
Yeah.
a substantially difficult thing to do. but
Yeah, I got you. Well, I'm going to follow up on that at some point, but we'll get to that.
all right. So you guys head back to the club. By this point tonight in the night, the club is jumping a little bit more. There's more people there. Bars are busy. The when you guys come through the door, Moira pulls you aside, Michael, and is like,
She's the type.
Hold up.
Got something.
dead microphone.
I'm about to have a bio emergency. I will be right back.
Okay. Well, in that case, we will come back to it, and we will go to someone with a less small bladder.
Please quit pounding those beers, man.
So, with that on the table for a minute, where are you guys going to head into? When you guys get to the club, what are you guys going to do?
I mean, we have blood we got to take downstairs. I mean,
Okay, so you guys are just the 3 or 4 of you are going to head downstairs immediately.
I was gonna, go check in with Ruby and give her a little smooch and see how her night's going.
Ruby is at the bar and she is slinging drinks like she's a pro.
Good girl, picking up.
As you watch for a second, you're not entirely sure that all of the drinks are entirely accurate.
Okay. You said a pro.
I said
you
she
did
was
say
like
a pro.
like a pro, not as a pro.
Oh, come on.
And
Did she remember all 12 ingredients in Long Island iced tea?
Tequila.
Splash of Coke.
And ginger ale. So, but none of the customers are particularly complaining. She is doing the job as best as she possibly can. She is flirting up a storm. She is getting tips. The tip jar is nice and full. She is struggling perhaps a little bit, but she is, for the most part, doing all right.
Cool.
Before we continue downstairs, Michael, when you guys get into the club, Moira pulls you to the side and says, "We either need more of you or we need better help."
What's going on?
She says, some of the hired help, the contractors, they're just not pulling their weight. They're not working fast enough. They're not doing their jobs.
It's like everything disconnected. OBS, everything.
I think it's because Zack hasn't eaten enough Oreos.
They were Pokemon Oreos too.
Ooh.
You should catch some more, and then your internet would stay connected. And that's logical.
Supposedly the Mew cookie is like super rare. and like people are even selling them on eBay.
Oh my
stuff,
god! Tell me you
supposedly.
ate it.
No, it was the first one we pulled out of the bag too. Though we opened the bag,
And there was only one.
Hey, new.
It was only
Put
one.
it in the Ziploc. I'm like, go sell this for $50. Someone's dumb enough to buy it.
Wow, that's crazy.
Give it to their kid for their birthday. Who knows?
So, are the four of you going to head downstairs to the basement?
Yes.
Actually, is
We
there somewhere that I'm needed right now?
I mean, the bar is busy, but not. I mean, she seems like she has it handled. So there's no like she would probably appreciate the help, but if you didn't help her, she's doing well on her own.
Okay, okay. I just don't want to leave her stranded.
So.
Yeah, I'll go with the group.
Okay. So when you guys get downstairs, you have two separate rooms. You have the one room with Alan and the unknown Thin Blood. Alan has reconstituted a lot compared to where he was. His body does not look like a crushed accordion anymore.
Stop.
That's good.
God damn it! Stop.
And many of his wounds are healing. The other Thin Blood, who is deep in torpor, looks like it might actually be a little more substantial. The chain that was around his neck cut up and back.
Mm-hmm.
So the gash in his neck actually goes from basically right below the neck, right at the collarbone, and then kind of curves up and hits basically about midway up on the chin. You think that if he'd been left to hang there for too much longer, eventually the weight combined with would probably have decapitated him. In the other room are Silas and Jonas. They have both mostly healed from their wounds over time. Both are deep in torpor. But compared particularly to the Thin Bloods, they look like they're in somewhat better shape. Even though they've suffered being impaled, their wounds are substantially in better shape than the Duskborn. So, the question is, how are you guys going to do this?
I guess Duskborn first. Get them out of the way. Get them out.
Is there any
Unless
reason
anybody
we might,
has like a different opinion.
So,
is there any reason we might want? Uh-oh. Is that? Did Zack go away again?
I think he just cut his screen.
Oh, okay. Do we want more assistance here? Should I go check and see if the Tremere are in the apartment and want to join us, or are we just gonna go ahead and do it?
Yeah, let's look at the Tremere too.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I'll just run over there with my, super enhanced speed and knock on their door.
So when you get there and you knock on the door, Marie opens the door. She doesn't say anything. She just kind of looks at you like she's expecting you to say something to her.
Which one is she?
She is the very, very small, very, very bland looking one.
The one who Diablerized.
Not to put too fine a point on it, but one of the two, yes.
Yeah. But I think one was like way hardcore into it. I'll go, hi. I'm not sure what you guys are up to, if you're busy or if you're free, but Is Jean Baptiste around?
She says no. It's just me and Adelaide, and Adelaide is currently occupied.
Oh, okay. Well, if you're curious or interested, we're about to bring 4 more vamps back that we've got in the basement.
When you say that, she kind of raises her eyebrow, and then pulls a key out of her pocket and steps out of the door and locks it on her way out.
Nicely done.
All right, let's go.
So,
I want to ask a really quick question. Sorry. Because I'm still got to play off of the fact that Idaho has not been a vampire long. And wait a minute, let me ask about the Diablerie thing. I don't remember how we found that out. Does Idaho know? Or was that just something like Al or Michael knows?
that would be something that both Al and Michael would have known from doing Sense the Unseen. Now, whether or not at some point they have shared that information is relevant to, is not necessarily, well, I will let them decide if they have shared that particular information.
I figure out we would have.
I mean, pretty much
We share
gab
all
about
the,
everything else.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then let
We're
me ask
quite
this.
a interconnected coterie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Considering that, I mean, I know Idaho has picked up that the vampire community looks down on Diablerizing or Diablerization or whatever the hell it is. That it's frowned upon, if not considered like a really bad thing that you would initiate a blood hunt. In that context, I presume that if you know someone has done it, is it impolite to bring it up?
Yes. No, that's considered a, I mean,
Okay.
Horrible
Damn.
faux pas.
yeah,
Horrible faux pas.
that's considered like, there's no particularly appropriate way to describe it or a parallel to do it, but if you keep in mind that the kindred population is 1 for every 15,000,
Yeah.
then murdering another kindred is a horrible act, but doing it specifically to try to steal not just their power that they've gained, but all of their knowledge, which is coveted by all kindred everywhere. I mean, that's enough to be completely excommunicated from society.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, that may be what caused them to have to leave.
Which is also part of why the Sabbat are so hated, because the Sabbat glorify that.
Maybe I should have been a Sabbat. Okay. All right. Well, then let's head to the basement.
Supposed to be.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe that's why. Because I tell you, Idaho is super fascinated with the whole Diablerie thing. But anyway, let's move to the basement.
That's not a weird segue.
Yeah.
So
Let's go to the strange basement.
So Idaho comes back with Marie in tow. So you said you were going to raise the Thin Bloods. Are you going to do both at the same time, or are you going to try to raise them
One at a time, in case one of these fuckers goes crazy on us. Hell no.
No need to have more extra.
So, who are you going to raise?
The one who's almost done. Get him out.
Accordion boy?
Yeah.
So, when you open one of the chests, there are several different bags of blood. They all have tubes that are coming off of the top. They look a little bit like Capri Suns.
Yay!
I'm hungry. Do we have extra?
So, let's ask some questions. Do you just leave him on the ground and do it there? Is somebody going to pick him up, kind of prop him up, and then do that, or who's going to do what?
I'm down, so he can't do shit.
Vic could just sit on him.
Yeah, just, you
Let's
know.
kill him immediately as we bring him back.
Yeah. Get the chainsaw ready. We're gonna teach this guy a lesson.
Do we still have the motorcycle?
So why did we smashed him because he was trying to start some stuff?
Yeah.
He's the guy that threw who like tried to hit me with the motorcycle, and I grabbed the motorcycle and smacked him back with it, and I showed him how it's used.
Yeah. Michael, you weren't there when that happened.
No, I wasn't. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
Like, is he an enemy beforehand, or was he just some punk kid who didn't know any better?
He kind of he was a punk kid. He was a thin. I'm sure we would have told Michael this ahead of time, but
yeah,
he was a thin blood, and we spotted him at Sabine's, and I went up to him to try to talk to him, just to basically say, you know, there's a hunt out for you guys. We're extending an olive branch. You know, we're a place that, you know, try to be nice to him, to, you know, that kind of thing. And he was immediately just a jackass. And I basically said, well, you should be careful, because there are people out there that are very strong that could be hunting you down. And he was like admittedly solo or like a lone wolf, and tried to basically talk some shit about how he wasn't worried because he was super badass. And then we were going to just leave it at that, but then he disparaged Vic's mother, and we had to take his ass out.
No,
But he did. Go ahead.
Say, notable exception to this particular story is that this thin blood was also high as a kite.
Okay.
Yeah, he was
pretty fucked up.
So we went outside because he basically talked shit, and we're like, well, if you're gonna talk shit, back it up. So we went outside, and before we could do anything, he picked up a motorcycle and tried to hammer Vic, and Vic showed him the error of his way. Yeah, Vic showed him the error of his ways.
All right, let's just get this kid sobered up and out. Feels like emptying out the drunk tank. So yeah, let's.
So
let's squirt some into his nose or something.
Okay, so again. So Vic, are you just going to pick him up and basically hold him while this happens, or
Sure.
are you going to pin him down and sit on him, as was the previous discussion, or
that'll work too.
What?
I'm.
Make a decision.
I guess it'd be easier just to pin him down while he's laying down.
Yeah,
he's already on the ground. So
yeah, it doesn't take a lot of like pressure or strength to like hold somebody down when they're already like prone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You should just put the little motorcycle on top of him.
So, Vic, you're pinning him down. Who is going to administer the fluids?
I'll do it. I don't care.
Who doesn't trust Vic? Come on.
I mean, I was gonna vote Michael being the oldest and wisest, but
yeah, here, Michael.
I wouldn't. I don't know that I've done this on my own.
Michael has not volunteered himself and would not even get in the way of like
unless
Idaho's enthusiasm.
All right,
Michael is still
go for it.
Good clothes.
Exactly.
Unless our Tremere guest tries to jump in, I guess I'll grab one of the Capri Suns and go over there and start feeding the homeboy.
So, when you go over and pour the okay, now another question.
How do you administer?
Are you going to basically tear open the tube and stick it in his mouth and then squeeze it and try to do it like that, or are you just gonna like hammer it into him?
Oh no, I'll just basically like normal pace, whatever. I'll stab the tube in and stick it in his mouth and kind of slowly squeeze it in there.
Flip him over and give him a blood bag enema.
I mean, that's one way to get your fix.
I think you meant to be at the party last night.
Right.
The Hans wants to see you. I
want to see Hans.
With excitement.
Hans is very excited. No, so when you squeeze the blood into Alan's mouth, there is a brief moment where it doesn't appear like anything's happening, and then Alan kind of sputters and coughs and swallows, and he's eyes, like he tries to pull an arm up to like shield his eyes. He's like kind of doing that squinty eye thing. But he can't because you're holding him down, Vic. And he's kind of like, what the fuck?
Morning, sunshine.
He's like, ow, everything hurts.
I'd be surprised if it didn't.
He's like, where am I? What's going on?
You're in the basement of the beacon.
He goes, where?
You know that
You're-
place we were trying to tell you about when you tried to hit me with a motorcycle?
No? What?
Well, there was a little bit of an incident. You were under the influence, and you ended up needing protection and assistance, and we provided it.
He says, that doesn't sound correct, but I don't have any way to argue.
Well, we are looking out for thin bloods, so here we are.
He goes, all right, thank you. Can you get off of me?
Sure.
And I'll offer him the rest of the bag.
He takes it and happily drinks it, slurps the entire thing down, and then he's kind of like, this isn't normally what I do, but do you have more?
Let's see. We got a few others.
Maybe in a little bit.
So
Yeah, we have to help.
we
We're
can talk.
basically the local vampire resuscitation.
Hold on,
unit.
guys. Hold on, guys. What's your name, dude?
He goes, Alan.
Yeah, we met him before.
Do you have, like, do we know what he's associated with? Or he's just, all right. He's like, how do you make your money?
I mean, normally, I do a little bit of mechanic work, not opposed to a little bit of B&E if I have to. He's like, I mean,
The wreckers might need a mechanic.
he's
How
like,
do you get your food? Usually.
He goes, oh man. Usually there's a couple of us, and we all kind of hang out, and there's, I don't know, what's. He's like, I don't want to offend, and he very pointedly looks at Al and Marie, and he's like, I don't want to offend, but there's shall we say, some loose-moraled women who kind of get passed around.
And it wouldn't be the loose moraled men that are passing them around, would it? Those guys are fine. It's only loose morals when it's a vagina involved, right?
He's like, this is why I didn't
Go
have this
fuck
conversation."
yourself.
All right, no. I'm not judging on how you get your food. Just wondering if you'd like to get some steady income and maybe a better choice.
He's like, this is very weird. Like, I thought I was dead. I know it hurts a lot still. And now I wake up and I'm being offered a job?
An opportunity to get a job. You said you have friends?
He's like, I had friends. I don't know if I still have friends.
Oh. If you can find any more, come back. Interviews start, and you might have a brand new hope in life.
He goes, okay. I don't understand anything that's going on right now, but okay.
Understand that you got a second chance because we decided not to let you go.
He's like, okay. He points to the bag and he goes, "Can I have any more?"
You want to stick around? We might have some left over.
Because I don't really want to stick around.
All right.
Then sayonara.
Alan kind of stumbles out, and he kind of looks at Vic a little bit, and he's kind of like squinty-eyed, like he's remembering something, but he doesn't stick around. He kind of stumbles off.
Does he need to be helped out, or is
And
he
I was
pretty
about
much?
to ask, is anybody going to walk him out, or are you just going to let him go walking through your basement?
Nah.
No.
Mm.
Vic, like somebody has to go walk him out.
You want me to walk him out? Okay.
You're the most intimidating.
Okay.
I mean,
you can control him if he goes crazy upstairs or whatever. Obviously.
Give him a chance to remember the face a little bit more.
Yeah, let him realize what he could have, what was possibly a reality, like the truth of the matter. Let him like see if it dawns on him and like he can like wake up to like how lucky he actually was.
So, do you take him out the front door, or are you taking him out the back?
This depends. Is he a little blood covered? Does he still got like?
Oh yeah, like his clothes
He's
are
going out the back.
shredded.
He's going out the back.
He's a backdoor man for sure.
phrasing.
Boom.
Oh, that was totally accidental.
Uh-huh. Sure was.
She said.
Ah, you mean that's what he said? Oops, I didn't mean to. It was an accident.
So, Alan kind of stumbles out into the alley. If he wasn't confused before, he is even more confused now. He kind of stands there, like kind of looking up and down the alleyway for a second, and stumbles off, kind of towards the mouth of the alley. He keeps kind of looking over his shoulder at you, Vic, as he goes. He's very, shall we say, being very ginger with his new lease on life. Doesn't really seem to know where to put his feet. So, back down in the basement. Who's coming up next? I'm assuming, Vic, after you see him off, you're going to head back down.
Yeah. I figured I'd be holding down the next one. That's what.
Yeah.
He's the muscle.
I guess the other thin blood.
Yeah. Same thing, right? I mean, we can get to his mouth. It hadn't come off, right?
No.
So in this case, let me.
You're muted,
I think
Mark.
this one's going to be different because
this one's the one we found at the garage at the wreckers, right?
Yeah.
I think we're going to have to go into his throat.
Yeah.
Like,
So is that like the method, like spray blood on his open throat wound?
Yeah.
So I was going to say, so how are you going to do this? Are you going to try to like push his head down to like try to get the neck to close up?
Sure.
And then put it in his mouth, or are you just going to like try to insert it directly into?
Just like trachum.
I mean, like we could just like pour it on the opening and into his mouth and see what happens first.
Yeah, but like definitely hold his head down, like to try to help
to like connect to help connect all the things.
So he's not like a Pez dispenser.
Yeah. So like
Pez dispenser right now, but...
I mean, like like pour some down his throat and into his mouth, close the neck hole, and see what happens as a first go.
So Vic, are you still trying to hold him down, or are you too busy like trying to hold his head in place?
No, that's not Vic's job.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I think I'd be busy holding him down. Someone else is going to have to hold his head.
I can.
Idaho, you hold his head. I'll pour.
Okay.
Okay. Cool.
So this has become a 3-man job.
Nice.
Apparently, since Michael doesn't want to get his suit dirty.
Maria is watching this entire thing with high amounts of interest.
Very high.
When you pour the fluid into his mouth and it goes down, some of it does in fact leak out of like the sides of his neck and down his chest a little bit, and it smells surprisingly good. So now here's the question: is anybody higher than a hunger of 2?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
I think Al is at 2.
I'm at
but
2.
I don't think anyone's high.
Al, I mean, I could do like some sort of a rouse check to see if I could raise it. I can summon in like a group of rats and do 2 rouse checks right now. If that'll help.
So anyway,
Moving along swiftly.
so as the blood flows down, you can watch as the neck starts to knit itself back together. It is somewhat fascinating to watch as the gaping wound, basically the muscles from the inside out start to fuse and crawl back together, the individual sinews kind of reattaching to one another, the trachea knitting itself back together, the skin starting to close up. As it does, the man coughs, his eyes open wide, and he starts to panic and thrash.
That's why I'm holding him.
Back away.
So, Vic, I need you to make a roll. It's a pretty good roll for you. It is strength and brawl, and you are indeed grappling here, so you do get the bonus die for that. So you're looking at a total of 5, 10,
10 and 1.
11. So 10 and 1.
Damn.
Jesus. Yeah, you're looking pretty good.
Ooh,
Yeah, this dude isn't moving anywhere.
you killed him again.
No.
This dude might as well be in chains. Despite his panicking, despite his thrashing, he
ain't going nowhere.
You
ain't going. Where you going? You're going nowhere.
He might as well be encased in concrete.
Swimming with the fishes.
So he's thrashing as hard as he possibly can. What do you do?
Idaho, try and quell the beast.
Is that what this is? I mean, he's just freaking out, right?
I mean,
Doesn't it kind of work like that?
I don't know.
He is definitely panicking. Like this is.
Yeah, he's just panicking. Does Quell the Beast have any effect on that? It was just if somebody's beasting out.
So, Quell the Beast. Let us refer to. That is definitely not what you were trying to do. So, vampire cows the inner beast into temporary slumber. Mortals affected become apathetic, unable to take any actions other than to stay alive. Vampires' bestial urges temporarily abate for better or for worse. I mean, this dude is, theoretically halfway to being immortal.
So I guess my question is there a way for me to tell if this is the beast or if he's just panicking because he's coming up from torpor?
So if you wanted to know that, that would be, you could look for that with Sense the Beast.
Or I could just try to quell and see if it works, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
So what does it take for me to quell?
So rouse, first, that's rouse check.
Here's this rouse check you wanted.
Yes. Want me to do like 4 or 5 times?
Sorry. Then it is going to be your charisma and your animalism
Mm.
Ooh, that's a good roll for me, huh?
versus their stamina and resolve.
So what is my charisma? 4?
So I
3?
thought your charisma is charisma is at a 4 and your animalism is at a 5.
5.
So you're looking at
7 and 2.
7 and 2.
Nicely done.
Yeah, he doesn't have a pool big enough to be able to beat that. So you use quell the beast, and the panic just kind of drains out of him. He is
Good job.
not particularly apathetic. He's not particularly like lazy or anything like that. But the panicking fear that he was feeling, definitely subsides.
Nice.
So what are you guys gonna do now?
Well, if he stops thrashing, I'll let him go.
So you let him go.
I mean, are you gonna give him a warning? Like, I'm gonna let you go. Don't freak out. We're here to
So
help.
yeah, just calm down. You're safe. We're here helping you.
Safe. I'm gonna let you go. Don't freak out.
He kind of crab walks away from everybody into a corner, and he's kind of looking around, and he's like, "Whoa, where am I? What the fuck happened?"
Welcome to the beacon.
What's the last thing you remember?
There was a woman. She's kind of petite.
Look like Joan Jett.
Yeah, little punk rock girl. She's talking to the bosses, and we were all kind of leering and jeering at her, and it was the same old thing, some little fucking girl who's gonna fuck with us, whatever. And then shit started to get real weird. Like all of the lights just started to flicker and go out, and then all of a sudden everything was dark, and I heard screaming, and I heard people trying to run. I heard people gasping for air. Somebody stumbled into me. It was one of the guys that we worked with. He's a ghoul. He's always been tough. I've seen him take on the other guys, but he was just gasping for air. I could hear him struggling, and then he was like, I was trying to like grab him, and I couldn't help him, and I could fear him just dying, like he couldn't breathe. And then I thought I heard the bosses. Thought I heard them trying to fight, and there was all of this horrible noises. It was like metal shearing, and then all of a sudden, I was stumbling around, and something went around my neck, and it hurt so bad, and I was off my feet. And that's all I remember. I was fighting as hard as I could, but how can you fight nothing? It was so cold. It was so cold there. It was like being on the dark side of the moon, man. Like, there's no light, there's no air, there's nothing there. It was the most awful feeling I've ever felt. And then it hurt, and I thought I was dead. And I just felt like I'd been stuck in my body, and I thought I was dead. I just thought that was how it was. I thought that was the end of it. I thought I was in hell. And now I'm here, and I'm in this room with these. I don't even know who you guys are. I don't know what's going on. I just what the fuck, man?
Well, you're not too far off. You were very damn near dead, as close as any kind of kindred will get.
You're lucky we could get you back.
You almost we're about like a hairline or an inch or two away from not being able to be resurrected.
He's like,
Your
"No,
bosses made it out. They're in about the same situation you were in, so they're the next ones we're about to wake up. Would you like to join us?
he seems really unsure. Like he's very obviously reliving in his head what happened before.
Look, all right, you stay here, drink the rest of your dose, and we'll be back to get you.
As
Got a
I
lot to think over.
as I give him the rest of the bag, presuming there's any left, I'm going to say, well, your two bosses. Which one of them is the stronger?
He goes, I mean, if you just ask him straight, strength, Silas. Silas is dude's fucking built for hauling cars.
Hmm.
But if I wasn't talking strength,
I mean, I mean, I know Silas has been around longer than Jonas.
all right, thank you.
You hang tight.
He's like,
Let's go wake up Jonas.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Vic hug.
So, in the next room, when you get there, Marie looks at you, Michael, and she says, these men didn't want to acquiesce to your Baron, your being the Baron. Correct?
Correct.
What makes you think that resurrecting these men will indebt them to you? That will change their mind of your barony?
Maybe it's not their minds I would like to change, but those watching how this goes down.
She says, I see. Well, carry on.
So, is all the blood in the coolers all the same?
Yes.
Okay.
You still have 4 blood packs left. There were 3 in each cooler.
All right. Well, let's go to Jonas and see what we need to do.
When you get there, into the room, I'm guessing, Vic, you're gonna hold him down again?
Yep.
He doesn't have any sort of wounds or anything like that on his neck or face. So putting it into his mouth is significantly less complicated than the last guy. When you squeeze the blood into his mouth, as opposed to the last time, in this case, his eyes shoot open and he starts to struggle again. So Vic, I'm going to need you to re-roll that same roll, but this time the difficulty is going to be quite a bit higher.
Oh no.
It doesn't matter.
Like, I got this.
Go Vic.
Hit the brick.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So,
I like that.
so he is, when he wakes up, he is snapping his fangs. He is struggling. He is kicking his feet. He's not moving any in relation to Vic, but this is very, very different. This is definitely hunger frenzy.
All right. Well, I guess I'll try to quell
Idaho,
him.
you know what to do.
Do I have to rouse every time I do this?
Yes.
Yoink. Ooh, nice. So instead of quelling him, I'm just going to feed off of him. Is that cool?
You.
I need to roll a new character. Oh, hey, another 6. Is that enough?
As you rouse the blood, you can hear it in your head. This guy is an asshole. Just
I'm ready.
fucking
Ready.
just eat him. Just fucking drink him down.
I
Take
want
what
to.
is his.
Yes. If the other 3 weren't here, I would.
Then eat them. Then eat them.
Yeah, if I wasn't here holding them down, you would.
Yeah. Well, no. If Vic was holding him down and unaware of me doing it, I would.
So.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in what the beast is telling me, but I'm going to try to be nice.
So.
Very
This one.
proud of you, Idaho.
So
Good
this
job.
roll is going to be your charisma.
I did it. 6.
But you didn't include your additional hunger.
Mm.
Uh-huh.
So
Oh.
the roll.
Dang it, I have to type it out again.
Oh, man.
Womp womp.
Is that, do I know if that's enough? Oh, how does he react?
So he also gets to roll in response to this.
Oh, all right. We'll see.
His
Because I'll re-roll again if I have to, I guess.
His stamina and his resolve. So now, since I never get to roll, I have to go look up the fucking script.
You just say you rolled 2 and we can move on.
That was not the roll at all.
No.
I do not know why.
Wow, he's got a pretty low stamina pool.
Is this gonna work? There it goes. Okay, so a margin of 1.
Woo! That's enough.
It is indeed enough.
Yay!
As he is slowly kind of comes down, he stops snapping. He stops trying to struggle so much. But his face is just contorted in anger. He's just like, get the fuck off me, you ape.
Careful there. Play nice or we'll put you right back where we found you.
He's like, you guys put me where you found me in the first place, fucking assholes.
It wasn't us. Why would we bring you back?
If we took you out, why would we waste the time to bring you back in?
In
Trust
fact,
me,
we know
trust me, I'm
we know
not thinking
exactly who put you here, so maybe you can take care of them later on your own.
I don't know.
But it wasn't
depends
us.
on the tune of your next few words. We're gonna play nice.
He goes, all right. For the time being, I'll listen to what you have to say. Baron.
He just fucking said it.
He also called her Baron.
Mhm.
More respect than he's given her before, so.
All right. Well, do you want us to bring your brother back first, or what? Then you guys, we don't have to repeat ourselves so much.
He goes, yeah, let's see it.
I'm gonna go over to Michael and pull Michael aside and say, I don't think that's a good idea. This guy is ready to be a total jackass. His brother being under our power is leverage. We convince him now, and then he helps us convince his brother when we bring his brother back.
No, we're going for the straight. We're going for allies now.
Isn't that what I? Okay.
Marie
Leverage is different than persuasion. Like
Marie
leverage is a
is-
force.
No.
Sitting-
The fact that his brother is near, that we could kill his brother right now, that's a form of leverage. I mean, that's just what it is.
So Marie is sitting back with her arms crossed, and she is just watching this entire situation. So
No, let him see what we found, how we found them.
when
Let him see to believe. We don't need to tell him.
so Vic, are you going to get off of Jonas?
Yeah, now that he's being cooperative, I'll get up.
Mm.
Okay, so when you get up off of him, he stands up and kind of shuffles off into the corner furthest away from you guys, kind of straightens his torn ass shirt up, tries to kind of compose himself a little bit. So are you going to, I'm guessing again, you were going to give the Vic hug to Silas.
Let me ask a question.
Okay.
So the blood in these bags is sufficient to lower hunger?
It is sufficient enough to bring someone back from torpor. It's probably enough to bring the hunger down by 1
For one bag?
per 1 bag.
Yeah. So
How many more bags do we have?
We have 3 bags, right?
So yes,
Yeah.
as of this point, you would have 3 bags.
So
Well,
yeah, go ahead.
I'm
I'm gonna go ahead and
I'm
yeah,
gonna
Idaho.
pop
go
one
for
and drain it down before
Yeah.
we move on to the next guy.
Okay,
Yeah, I was
so
about to say Idaho needs to suck one down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now
good
it's
job.
my turn.
I'm proud of you and your self-care, man.
Okay, so then we will
Too
reduce
pressure.
your hunger. We will reduce your hunger down to 2.
All right, let's see if we can get a hat trick. Oh no, we already did. This is our 4th one. Let's go.
So is Silas in the same room with him?
Yes.
Okay. So he can obviously see what the state of Silas is.
Jonas.
And Jonas.
Yeah, why the hell he thinks we did it? Who knows?
So Silas, you're going to pin Silas down and do the exact same thing. So
Oh, I
Vic-
thought we just raised Silas. Did we raise Jonas?
Yes.
no, Jonas, you
Yeah,
raised
Jonas was the stronger, but the younger.
or
Right.
the younger one.
Younger. Silas
was
is stronger.
Older.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you asked specifically, because you asked who's the stronger one, and he told you Silas
Jonas.
is older.
I thought he
So
said.
he's stronger.
I think I said Jonas was the physically stronger one.
No, Silas is the physically stronger, older one. Jonas is the younger one.
So
we basically woke up Jonas to be like maybe like to help like ask him like to be like
I thought we were
Now,
waking up
you
the
know-
weaker one first.
You
we
did.
did.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
no, you did.
Yeah.
But the weaker one with like Vic and everybody is still like more of a hand if the stronger one ends up being too much to handle.
So
We need to quit doing this shit for people that don't appreciate it. Just throw them in the fucking oven.
Agreed.
I mean, after the way that asshole acted, I was ready to just say fuck you and kill his brother and move on.
So, who is going to pour the precious fluids into Silas's mouth.
Stop it.
Guess
Stop
I'm
it.
gonna-
I'll take a turn.
Okay.
All right.
Idaho's been pulling all the weight.
I'm gonna ready my Call the Beast guns.
All right. So, Vic, you're holding on. Alice, when you pour the fluid into Silas's mouth, it is a slightly different response than in the other one with the other three. This is a lot more measured. Instead of drinking it and immediately being flooded and freaking out, you can watch as all of his muscles just go tense as you are feeding him. As the bag empties, his lips kind of push it away, and he simply says, "More."
Give him the second one.
We got one more bag.
All right.
So, as you feed the blood to him, the second bag of blood, he opens his eyes and looks into yours, Alice. One second. I need you to make a roll of your composure and your intelligence.
Ah.
Yeah, we should have just killed these two guys.
We know what those
and
dice
include
are.
and include your hunger. So, Alice, this is going to be composure is 2.
Okay.
I said composure and intelligence. So composure is 2, intelligence is 3, 5. So 3 and 2.
I ain't even gonna look again. I don't wanna.
Ooh,
Damn.
Right.
Nice. His head explodes.
Oh boy.
So
This does not look good for Homestar Runner.
You messy crit. Awesome.
that would be.
I certainly don't get those often.
I get him every time someone swings a motorcycle at me.
Apparently.
Or if somebody closes a car door on you or anything like that.
Okay.
Oh, what happens at the tie?
So, two things happen at once. Silas's eyes blaze. The look in his eyes is just that of absolute just fury. Alice,
Yep.
I need you to make a Fury Frenzy test.
What that is.
So you need to roll all of your unspent willpower. No hunger, just roll your unspent willpower. So that is 4 dice.
4 white.
Yep.
If I can type today. No red.
Yeah, this is the first kind of roll, I think.
Okay.
Hey, don't climb my chair. No.
So the difficulty was 3, and you can't re-roll willpower. So, the following two things happen. Alice, you reach down and jam your thumbs into Silas's eyes in a complete rage and just push down and just completely just crush his head right into the floor.
Fans go wild. Alice pulled a Vic. Alice pulled a Vic.
There is a brief moment where the back of his head just kind of crumples away and comes away, and his body just starts to instantly wither.
Holy shit.
I did that.
Whoa, 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 what was that?
The second thing that happens
Uh-oh.
is Alice turns, and you know that in her fury, she's going to attack you.
Who?
All of you.
Wait,
Well-
okay. Wait. How did we get here?
I crushed the guy's friggin' skull.
Because when his eyes were like all scary.
I think this is that ability that Idaho was talking about possibly getting earlier. Like when you go into the frenzy, you pass the frenzy on to someone else. I think he passed his frenzy on to Al, and Al crushed his head in the process. He fucked himself over.
Maybe.
So, this seems like an excellent place to end our session, if not our chronicle for the evening.
Fuck! We've got a rabbit Alice on our hands.
So I'm gonna
And-
roll. Can I roll
and
for getting the hell out of there?
Failed diplomacy. Absolutely failed diplomacy.
And we will
Oh,
return.
little and wait a minute. To clear up, little brother just watched me do this.
Yeah, he's in the
Mhm.
corner waiting to attack.
I just
us.
want to make
I
sure we
know.
point that out to our audience. Like, we went from bringing the brother back saying, don't fuck around or we're going to make an example of you. And we just did with his brother.
Wow.
So,
Yeah, trying to save them both, and we just murdered them.
this
That's
seems,
what they get.
like I said, an excellent place to end our session, if not our chronicle for this evening.
Excuse me.
And we will come back for session 35 to see, of course, on the same night,
Yeah.
to see how exactly the coterie is going to resolve the rabid Alice.
Vic, just point her at the other brother and let her go.
I'm getting cosplay ideas. I'm like,
So,
We've weaponized Alice.
Scheisse.
Well,
Don't worry.
admittedly, this is like, I think the first time I've done something this severe.
Yeah, it's your
Yeah.
turn. It's
I-
Michael did it
yeah.
once. Michael did it once, and now it's your turn.
After you kill the brother, I'll call the beast on you. Don't worry about it.
in fact, not to say anything, but this is actually the exact same skill that caused Michael to freak out oh so long ago.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So it's that frenzy thing.
This would be the exact same skill that was used on Michael by the Tremere.
Ah.
That guy screwed up doing that to you. I mean, we're sitting here trying to help him, and now he's dead because of what he did.
Choices.
And he was the more powerful of the two.
Well, I'll show you what happens.
In
with
little
that
bitty,
action.
yeah, of course. Guy big as
Like-
Vic or bigger,
Yeah, so
and
to the other brother, we're like, this is what happens to you if you don't comply. So would you like to join us, or would you like to have your head opened up?
So,
Wow.
well,
XP has been awarded for the evening.
awesome.
And on this particular note, I believe our session is done.
Awesome. Well, thank you to everybody that stuck with us tonight. I know we had a technical difficulty. Hopefully everything bounced back. Before we go, does anybody want to shout out? Is anybody streaming soon or just want to put their link out there? Let me know. And there's Useless. Hell yeah. Dun, 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 dun. How you been, Useless? Lurking and listening.
Oh, that's my favorite game. No game.
Yeah.
I guess I
Love
didn't
the
pop up.
lurker.
I try to shout out everybody, and sometimes I don't remember which ones like also aren't streaming at the time or don't have anything up on their channel, so I tend to shout out a lot of people. Yeah, we'll definitely shout out John. He's been streaming a lot lately. It's been awesome.
Yeah, John.
Do, do, do. Yeah, he started Bloodlines.
Oh, nice.
I'm doing Coteries right now. Coteries in New York. I tried to get Redemption to work, and it's
Yeah, it's a much older game.
yeah, and it doesn't, for me at least, unless I can find someone else that's also streaming Redemption, I can't figure out a lot of the logistics. Like it doesn't want to run windowed, and once you're clicked into the game, it doesn't want to let you move the mouse anywhere outside of the game, even when you hit the Windows tab. So I need to do some more reading. I've tried a lot of different fixes, so I went on to Coteries.
You will interestingly find that some of the characters of Coteries have already made a cameo in this chronicle.
Oh,
Hey
Well, not
now.
Hope.
Are they still alive?
Where's Hope?
Ah,
That's my girl right there. Like the first time I played it, this is like second or third go through, but first streaming. But when I played it before, I was getting logged in and everything, and they're like, pick your clan, and I was like, there's more than 3.
nah.
There's more than 3. There's no Malkavians here. I don't know what I'm doing. I wanted to be.
You might find the recap for Martha's session before session 25 to be highly interesting. I'll leave that there.
I'll have to figure that
That
one
was-
out.
that was when Michael made his trip to New York before coming back, and then we had to, yeah. Remember when he was gone that one episode, and when we came back, he took a trip to New York and was
Yeah.
gone.
Went
Those
to
are
the-
Scott's minions.
So,
Well, it's time to raid. If you guys want to chat up anything that's going on in your lives, I know Scott, what's the situation with the new book?
Still finishing it up, putting on the final touches.
Excited about that.
I have to go. I have people who need me.
Of course,
night.
family.
Thank you for a lovely
Yes.
adventure in Vampland.
Yeah,
And of
thank
course,
you.
we will see you all next Monday. Again, if anybody wants to do any duos, let me know. Or solos.
Gotcha.
Adios, muchacho.
We'll see you soon.
Well, let's see who we can raid to right now. We'll send our viewers
That's not
over.
true. Good night,
Bye,
y'all.
guys.
Good night.
Buenas noches.
Let's see. It looks like Johnny's on. Let's go raid with Johnny. I know you guys all have fun over there. He's playing Ratchet and Clank. All right, let's send everybody over. Good night, everybody.
Good night.